Gorgeous for the middle of November. Temperature around 45 degrees. Bright sunshine, although the shadows are beginning to creep across the field here at Giant Stadium. Artificial turf, of course, and just really excellent playing conditions for this college football game.
As far as artificial turf goes, it's beautiful. It's rather soft. Remember, John McKay used to call this fuzzy concrete. This is one of the better ones.
The series history, West Virginia leads it. 11 victories, 2 defeats, actually 2 victories for Rutgers, and there were 2 ties. West Virginia, though, has won 3 in a row. But keep in mind that a Dick Anderson coach club did defeat West Virginia here at Giant Stadium 4 years ago. The last year's meeting, West Virginia defeating Rutgers 37-13 in that game. Major Harris, 304 yards total offense. He set a West Virginia record in that game with total offense output. But keep in mind, he has surpassed that record this year, and I believe it was against Boston College.
West Virginia is extremely tough at home. Hey, they're 9-0. They're extremely tough everywhere this year, Lou.
All right, Charlie Bauman will tee the football up at the 35-yard line. The Mountaineers in their road white uniforms trimmed with gold and black will be kicking right to left on your screen. Rutgers in their home red uniforms trimmed with white. Back deep for the Scarlet Knights, Eric Young and Ron Allen. They stand at the 5-yard line. And this game is just about ready to get underway. Very important game, especially for West Virginia, as they come in undefeated at 9-0, and this game is underway. Eric Young at the 10, 15, 20, and banged down hard at the 25-yard line. On the tackle for the Mountaineers was Murphy, and Rutgers will go on offense first. For the Scarlet Knights, up front, it'll be Jeff Erickson, the center, Erda and Kutz, the guards, Milano and Tardy, the tackles. Scott Blanche will start in place of James Jenkins at tight end. Eric Young starts at split end. In the backfield, Mersola's the flanker. Jimmy Can and Mike Botti behind quarterback Scott Erney. 6'1" senior out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. First down and 10, Rutgers at their own 25-yard line. Out of the I formation, receivers split left and right. Can on the reverse. Eric Young will throw. Has a receiver, McQueen. Makes the throw right through the wickets. Hit him right in the numbers.
Bad spot, Lou. Hit him right in the numbers, as you said. That was a well-conceived play on first down. Rutgers comes out, opening it up early, and he was open.
Was the sun a factor there? Running right with the sun in his eyes.
Let's look at it on the replay. There you see Jimmy Can. He pitches off to Eric Young coming around. He sees Tyrone McQueen, sets himself, and throws a beautiful pass. McQueen lost concentration just a bit at the end as the defensive back got into the play. I don't think the sun was necessarily a factor, though. He seemed to read the ball all the way.
Pitch to Botti, tries to get outside, cannot. Picks up a yard or two. Chris Herring on the tackle, leads the Mountaineers in tackles with 102 coming in.
Lou, just very quickly about that first play, those are the type of plays that Rutgers must make in order to stay in this ball game.
All right, the West Virginia defense up front. Parker, Gray, and Fox. The linebackers, Turnbull, Herring, Ellis, and Pickett. Mays and Edwards at the corners. Orlando and Whitmore at the safety slots for West Virginia. Third down and 8, Rutgers on their own 28-yard line. Trip receiver, split out right side. Erney to throw. Has protection, looks over the middle. Mersola intercepted, and it may be a touchdown. Whitmore. Touchdown, West Virginia.
There he is, the freshman, Darrell Whitmore, 5'11", 178 pounds. The old tip drill, a fairly well-thrown ball that Mersola had his hands on, but then Mersola was cracked. The ball was up in the air. Whitmore had the presence of mind to pick it off and then made a nice return of it to go all the way for 6 points. The 17th interception for West Virginia on the season. The return, 33 yards. That's a big play defense. That's Brett Mersola down. He got whacked.
And Brett, the 5'8" senior out of Burbank, California, had 25 catches coming in, totaling 388 yards and 4 touchdowns. Again, a catchable ball, unable to make the catch, and I didn't see the the injury situation, Frank, I don't know what happened to Mersola on the play.
Let's watch it on the replay. He gets cracked, Lou. Here he is coming back. Scott Erney's looking for Mersola over the middle. Now watch, the ball is there, but he has to reach for it. He goes way up, and watch this. Whack, right in the back. Boy, you get whiplash. Now Whitmore, with his 4th interception, goes all the way. Watch him make the nice move right here on Scott Erney. Plants and goes. You know those quarterbacks. Come on, Scott, you got to keep that head up and make a play like that. Already Rutgers in the hole.
Not the way the Scarlet Knights wanted to start the game off.
Not at all, Lou. Brett Mersola is still down on the field right now. There you see Dick Anderson, the coach for Rutgers, and he can't like that, but what can you say? Mersola had his hands on the ball, but when he tried to pull it down, he was whacked in the back, and I think what the injury might be is a case of whiplash, believe it or not, Lou. Sometimes you can get hit so hard, and when your body is not really prepared for it, that head and neck snaps back, just like a car injury. When you get hit from the back, you can get whiplash, and that really hurts.
Well, Rutgers having a difficult time early. There you see Don Nealon, the West Virginia head coach. You saw his career record and his record against Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights, very difficult situation. Had McQueen wide open the very first play of the game. A pass that Tyrone should have pulled in. Would have been at least a big gainer for Rutgers, if not a touchdown. And then 2 plays later, the untimely interception.
Well, Lou, you mentioned the sun, and we were walking the field before the game, as we mentioned, and we looked up and we said, wow, the sun could really be a factor, especially when you had to look right back into it. I don't think it affected him that much because he seemed to have a really good bead on the ball, and then at the last minute he lost it. It's possible, Lou. We certainly won't know from up here, but those are the kind of plays that Rutgers must make to stay in this ball game. They must be virtually error-free. That first series was far from that.
Charlie Bauman in to kick the extra point, 6'1" senior. He's connected on 48 out of 50 extra points, so he has been very accurate. Snap is good, kick is up, kick is good. West Virginia strikes early, and they do it on defense. Mountaineers take the lead 7-0 with 13 minutes and 56 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. And you can see the West Virginia cheerleaders there. Well, early strike for West Virginia.
Well, you know, everybody talks about the West Virginia offense, and rightly so. They are spectacular on offense. They are more than creditable on defense. They only give up 15.6 points per ball game, which is 20th in the nation. And even that's a deceptive statistic because they're always so far ahead. You know that Coach Nealon is bringing in sub-players to give them some seasoning so that other teams have a chance to score on what we call unaffectionately garbage time. So that's a deceptive statistic. And they only give up 283 total yards per game. That's 19th in the country. When you're that strong offensively and then that good defensively, Lou, you're going to be 9-0.
Darrell Whitmore with that interception. You know, he's only a freshman, 5'11" freshman. 3 interceptions, also has 2 fumble recoveries, so he's a player who has a nose for the ball, coaches would say.
Well, you want that out of your free safety, Lou. That's what the position is all about. You want a guy who's always around the football, who can pick it off and pick up loose fumbles as well, and that's what Whitmore did in that case. That's what you want out of your free safety.
Bauman kicks off. Ron Allen will take the ball this time at the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Ron Allen, he may go. Touchdown, Rutgers. 91 yards.
Rutgers needed to make the big play, and they got it out of Ron Allen. An exciting kick return to Lou. This kid has been doing it week in and week out. Boy, he followed his block beautifully and then showed his outstanding sprinter speed to outdistance the entire West Virginia defense for the score. That was a great play.
All you can say after a play like that is, wow. Electrifying kickoff return by Ron Allen. Allen, the sophomore out of Island, attended John F. Kennedy High School.
Let's watch it on the replay. A couple of good blocks. He finds the crack. He makes the cut, makes the right decision, and then sprints to the end zone. About the only thing he didn't do right was switch the ball to the outside arm, Lou, but I don't think Coach Anderson is too ticked off.
Sclafani comes in and kicks the extra point. 43 straight for Sclafani. Rutgers has come back with a vengeance, and they have tied the Mountaineers at 7. And the first 2 minutes of this football game have been exciting, to say the least.
I haven't been disappointed, Lou. You know, we got the feeling from Rutgers, and we read a couple of newspaper articles that they were ready to play. They have gotten into trouble, Lou, when they haven't been, when they've taken opponents lightly. Obviously today, how could you take West Virginia lightly? So they had a good, crisp practice, and they said, hey, we have nothing to lose. This is our ball game. We're going to surprise some people.
What's the best remedy for an interception, which is a return for a touchdown? The ensuing kickoff, run back for a touchdown for your team. And I think that was the prescription that Rutgers needed in that situation. All right, Rutgers will kick off to West Virginia. We'll get an opportunity to see that highly touted Mountaineer offense. Carmen Sclafani will boot it, tees it up at the 35-yard line.
Lou, you know something about Ron Allen? That is not even his all-time high in terms of kick returns. He had a 94-yarder against Cincinnati earlier in the year, so he's a kid who can really scoot. If you look at his average on returns, almost 50 yards a return, Lou.
Back deep for West Virginia, Eugene Napoleon, 5'10" junior. He stands at the 3-yard line. The up men under Johnson. And also Jamie Lamont. It's a line drive kick, fumbled at the 10, picked up at the 15. Lamont takes it to the 29 and a penalty marker on the play. So the Mountaineers a little sloppy on that kick return. And we'll get the referee's call. More than likely, it will be against West Virginia. Holding is the call. This will push West Virginia back. So West Virginia will start their first offensive possession deep in their own territory.
Gonna watch it on the replay, Lou. Boy, both these teams were supposed to be quick. They weren't moving too swiftly that time.
They mark the ball back to the 19. All right, West Virginia on offense up front. They will go with Koken, Stroya, and Kovac. Phillips and Smider, the tackles. Keith Wynn, the tight end. Calvin Phillips, the split end. In the backfield, Rembert, the flanker. Brown and Taylor behind sophomore quarterback Major Harris. 1st and 10, West Virginia at the 19. And not much yardage. Picked up maybe 3. Anthony Brown on the carry. He's a 5'10" senior tailback. And Doug Kokoskie makes the tackle. The Rutgers defense up front. Tim Lester has had a very good season from his defensive end slot. Tompkins, Giles, and Bankos. The linebackers, Mike Conlon will start in place of Larry Muno, Yudovich, and Kokoskie. And a lot of changes in the secondary. We'll give them to you after this play. That's the original starting lineup, not the one handed to us just moments ago. 2nd down, 8. Trying to turn the corner is Brown. He's close to first down yardage. And then pulled down from behind. But to be Conlon on the tackle. All right, that Rutgers secondary, Sellers and Glenn Miller starting at the corners. Actually, yes, and Vaughn McCoy. Actually, let's get it straight. Vaughn McCoy and Glenn Miller starting at the safeties.
Right.
Mays and Sellers at the corners. It took a few moments, but we did get it. 3rd down and 1 at the 28-yard line. I formation for the Mountaineers. They pitch it wide. Brown, and he should have enough for the first down. Carter Giles, who comes back off an injury, which he suffered against Temple 2 weeks ago, makes the tackle.
Did a nice job of getting out there from his nose tackle position. That's just a little power toss off the eye, out of the I formation, I should say. West Virginia very big in the offensive line. What they do is like to pull those big people, get him out on the corner, and then get Anthony Brown, who at 5'10" could sneak in behind him and scoot around that corner for good yardage.
1st and 10, West Virginia. Lamont, the man in motion. Harris back to throw. Play action in trouble and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A big play by George Bankos, a senior out of Whitehall, Pennsylvania.
He's a big guy, 6'2", 280, is basically known for his run support. That time, a good rush inside, used the old bull rush technique, got in. That's only the 14th sack for Rutgers on the year so far. I'm sure that Dick Anderson was hoping for more production out of his defensive line, or destruction, I should say.
Second down, 16. Ball marked at the 25. Handoff up the middle. Craig Taylor, the fullback, carries. Gets to the 30. Brought down by Giles and Kokoskie. Second down, 11 coming. Excuse me, third down, 11 coming up.
It's a big play for the Rutgers defense early on. They have to prove that they can play with the big boys, that being West Virginia. Right now, they've got West Virginia where they want them, a third and long situation. But with a kid like Major Harris, you cannot relax.
Third and 11. The Rutgers crowd on its feet. Harris to throw. Has protection. Now in trouble. Trying to scoot away and does. Harris has a West Virginia first down across the 45 to the 48. Ludovich on the tackle, but that is vintage Major Harris.
You can't say much more than that, Lou. That is Major Harris. He puts so much pressure on the defense because he throws effectively and his running is spectacular. He's a tremendous broken field runner, and he'll look for that. If he sees a gap, he's gone.
First down for the Mountaineers as you look at it on the replay.
Here's the replay. Now watch, he's got lots of time. Now see, he sees the crack there, pulls it back down. Look at those quick feet. He is a nifty runner. And then he's strong enough to get a couple of extra yardage even with the linebacker on it.
Handoff up the middle. Anthony Brown carries the football for a couple, gets across midfield to the Rutgers 47. And Timmy Lester on the tackle for Rutgers. Anthony Brown, senior tailback, had 3 100-yard games this year. One of them against a very tough Pitt defense. Comes into the game with 699 total yards, 7 touchdowns. And you take a look at the offensive statistics for West Virginia, they're just unbelievable.
Oh, they did a lot of homework over the week, Lou, to try to keep up with it.
Second down, 8. Harris in trouble. Pitches wide. Brown is nailed. And he might have lost the yard. Steve Tompkins plays it very well for Rutgers, and the Knights playing the option extremely well on that particular play.
Well, it might be for the first time this year. We'll take a look at the West Virginia record, Lou. Why don't you run it down?
Obviously all W's and the big scores, 62 points. And the last 3 games, look at that, 59 against BC, 51 unheard of against Penn State, and another 51 against Cincinnati. And the Mountaineers have been rolling it up. Third down, 8. Ball marked at the Rutgers 48. Harris to throw. Quick drop back. Fires outside. Has a receiver. And it should be enough for a first down. Grantis Bell makes the reception for the Mountaineers. Backup flanker has 8 catches on the year and has the first down.
Lou, you can't fault the Rutgers secondary. Why? Because the West Virginia receivers are so quick. Rutgers has to give them a certain amount of cushion. On a 3rd and 8 situation, you'd like to play them a little bit tough. You don't want to give them the 9 yards. However, if you play them too tight, these guys are so quick, they can fly right by you. And Rutgers does not want to give up the big play if they can help it.
For the Mountaineers, their second first down of this drive. Lamont in motion, they hand up the middle, and running hard is Craig Taylor, but he's knocked down just as hard by Mike Conlon, who gets a start today. 6'2" junior out of Frewsburg, New York, and the brother of the great Shane Conlon, who played at Penn State. Pickup of 4, second down and 6. Ball marked at the 36. 9 minutes, 15 seconds remaining first quarter. 7-7. Rutgers and West Virginia tied. But the Mountaineers on a drive. Harris rolls out, now looks to cut it in. What a run by Harris. As he hurdles one would-be tackler and then takes it all the way down to the 25. And whether you're rooting for Rutgers or West Virginia, it is just a pleasure to watch an athlete like Major Harris.
I'm rarely speechless, and I didn't have much to say on that one. That is individual athletic ability. Rutgers had it pretty well defensed. The linebackers were in position to make the hit. Harris puts a little juke move on and then hurdles the linebacker for the first down. You can't coach that, Lou. It just has to happen with nature.
First and 10 at the 25. They go wide with Brown. He's got a huge hole and takes it inside the 20 down to the 16. And just an incredible hole on the right side of the Mountaineer line.
Great block that time by Bob Kovac. pulled on the play and took out the defensive end, which allowed Brown to cut it. Watch the block by 55. Takes out 2 players. Brown read the block beautifully, cut inside it for good yardage. Give the credit that time, or at least as much credit to Bob Kovach as to Anthony Brown.
2nd and 1 at the 15, 13th play of this West Virginia drive. And they run off tackle, and another big hole. Craig Taylor with the West Virginia first down inside the 10. Taylor, the 6', 215-pound senior fullback, he came in with 292 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns.
Well, if he could shake the injury bugaboo, he could be one of the best in the East. Don Nealon gave him a nice compliment during the week. It said he's probably the most underrated fullback in the East. There's Dick Anderson, who's not happy at this point. A good long drive for West Virginia, but to get back to Taylor, if he can stay healthy, Don Nealon thinks he's one of the best.
1st and goal at the 10. Brown breaks away from 1 tackle and then brings it inside the 10 to the 8. Rutgers had him behind the line of scrimmage, but he escaped. Kokoskie was back there.
Right, Doug Kokoskie shot the gap as good linebackers always do on a pitch play. Whenever the guard pulls out, Lou, linebackers are trained to shoot that gap and try to get in and mess up the play as best they can. That time Kokoskie stripped the ball carrier of his interference so that other guys could make the tackle. There's an example of giving yourself up, not making the tackle, but still making the play.
2nd and goal from the 9. I formation for the Mountaineers. Harris keeps the ball, turns it inside, met at the 3, and then dives ahead to the 1. Vaughn McCoy made the tackle.
Sort of, Lou.
But Harris showing some power as well as he was hit at the 3 and dove ahead to the goal line.
Well, he's a good-sized kid. McCoy, at only 180 pounds, hit him a solid shot, as you mentioned, Lou, at the 3. But Harris, in some programs, he's listed as 207. Other programs, 217. And on a 6'1" frame, he's a strong kid as well as an athletic one.
3rd down and goal at the 1. Up over the top, fumble. Picked up by Rutgers. A big turnover.
That was the fullback, Craig Taylor, who tried to leap. Whenever you leap, Lou, you're in danger of getting a helmet on the football because obviously you're that high. You've elevated the ball to the level of the helmets of the defensive players. When they spear in there, you're in danger of having that ball pop up. Taylor should have had both hands on the ball going over the top. I didn't see who made the pop, but it was a big one for Rutgers, and that's a big break for the Scarlet Knights.
First down, Rutgers at the 1. Mike Botti runs a couple of yards, picks up 1 or 2. Chris Parker on the tackle for West Virginia.
Important for Rutgers here to get a little bit of field position. Even if they don't get the first down, they've got to get at least as close to it as possible, Lou, because they've got to give their punter some room to get the ball out of the end zone.
2nd and 9 at the 1. Mike Botti again, caught behind the line of scrimmage. No, gets away. A great individual effort by Botti as he gets across the 5 to the 6. Theron Ellis made the initial tackle. I gotta tell you, good run by Botti.
A nice individual effort for Mike Botti, who is a hard-running fullback for a 206-pounder. Now watch, Ellis is all over him, but he just can't wrap him up. And Botti does what good fullbacks should do, keep the legs moving. Never stop until you hear the whistle. That goes for defense and offense.
3rd and 5 from the 6. Eric Young in motion. Erney rolls out, in trouble, gets it away, and just got it away. Chris Parker had dreams of a safety there.
Well, he was mighty close that time, Lou. Good rush by the senior, Chris Parker. 6'5", 280, and he draped himself all over Scott Erney. But you talk about strength. We talked about Major Harris being a strong kid at 207 pounds. Scott Erney, about 200 pounds, managed to hang in there just long enough to dump the ball dump the ball out of the end zone. That's a good play by Scott Erney. That comes with the experience that Scott Erney has garnered over the last 2 years.
Matt O'Connell into kick. Stands in his end zone, averaging 41 yards per punt. And it's a short one by O'Connell, but it will take a Rutgers roll picked up by Bell at the 50 and then put down at the 47. So West Virginia will have excellent field position to start this possession. Last drive by West Virginia, 16 plays, 80 yards. Took up 7 minutes, 35 seconds, but did not score.
Well, that's part of what has been haunting Rutgers in recent weeks. They have a creditable offense, but you can't do anything on offense if you don't get the ball. Last week in a torrential downpour, Rutgers and Pittsburgh controlled the ball. They only scored 20 points, which is not an insurmountable amount. But they managed to control the football and keep it away from the Rutgers offense.
And there's a timeout on the field. So there's a break in the action. 4 minutes and 46 seconds remaining first quarter. Rutgers 7, West Virginia 7.
Seal campaign for the American Lung Association.
Uncle Dick and Aunt Winnie.
And we're using Christmas seals on all our gifts and cards because using Christmas seals not only helps fight lung disease.
For Bob and Billy.
Yes, Tom. It also helps keep our air clean, too. So use Christmas seals from the American Lung Association every single way you can.
Guess who this is for?
They even help keep brothers quiet.
This is for you.
Oh.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas seal people.
2 prescription drugs. This one, sold under its brand name, costs $32. This generic drug with the same active ingredients costs $23. I'm Robert Abrams, New York State Attorney General. Overall, brand name drugs cost up to 70% more than the generic equivalents. To save consumers money, prescriptions in New York will now be filled with a generic drug unless your doctor indicates otherwise. Check with your doctor and pharmacist about saving money by using generic drugs.
Back at Giant Stadium, there's the score. West Virginia 7, Rutgers 7. West Virginia scoring on a 36-yard interception return by Darrell Whitmore. And then Rutgers scoring on a 91-yard kickoff return by Ron Allen. There's an injured Rutgers player, and that's Mike Pergolizzi, 6-foot sophomore out of Little Ferry, New Jersey. Mike has been a very fine backup player this year for Rutgers and has been seeing increasingly more playing time the last few weeks. And very unfortunate situation to see him go off the field the way that he's being carried. And anytime you see a player like that going off in that situation, Frank, you got to think the knee.
Ankle or knee, Lou, anyway, and he has been a good performer for Rutgers. As you mentioned, he has had increased playing time as of late. Why? Because he's a very mobile linebacker, and Rutgers needs that right now because so many teams have run the option against them. They need mobile players.
West Virginia, first down and 10 at the Rutgers 46. I formation for the Mountaineers. And they give up the middle. Craig Taylor spins for a few. And Tim Lester on the tackle. Well, what do you do when a player fumbles at the goal line? Very next play from scrimmage, give it right back to him.
Absolutely. The kid's a senior. He's got a lot of experience, and he's been a good player for them. You want him down the stretch. You don't want the kid to go in the can for you, Lou. So you've got to say, hey, big guy, these things do happen. We'll get him next time. And then you've got to give him the opportunity.
Second down, 6 at the 41. Call it 2nd and 5 to be accurate. Anthony Brown looks to turn the corner and does. Forced out of bounds by Glenn Miller. Miller out of Somerville, 5'8" senior. Glenn's been a good performer for the program over the years. Hasn't seen a lot of playing time in a starting role situation, but certainly has been a solid performer as a backup.
We take a look at Major Harris. Guy that you didn't see. There's 88 in the screen there. Reggie Rembert did a great job of blocking on the corner, which made that play go. Rembert is 6'6", 200 pounds. He got that body downfield in a hurry and threw a nice block on the corner.
First down and 10 at the 34. Brown again across the 30 to the 29. And West Virginia just with outstanding quickness in the backfield. Yes, the offensive line is making some holes, but the hole's nothing outrageous so far. Those backs hit the hole so quick.
Well, they do, Lou, but the offensive line for West Virginia is, as you were saying, giving them just enough, and that's all you need sometimes. They're big and they're experienced, and they're getting just enough push at the point of attack. When you've got good backs, they take advantage of cracks.
Second down 4. Harris pitches outside. Roy Rutgers played it well. Darren Sellis was an excellent job, and Conlon coming up as well. Sellis has been a solid performer for Rutgers this year, Frank. 72 tackles coming in, 2 interceptions, and not blessed with all the great God-given ability, but makes the most of it.
Oh, he's an overachiever. There's no question about it. He's third on the team in tackles, and by the end of the season will be the all-time leading tackler for a Rutgers secondary man. He's not afraid to put his face in there. You can't question his courage, Lou.
Third down and 4. This is a big play for both clubs. Brown looks to get outside, turns it up. He will be short of first down yardage. Glenn Miller made a big play. Came up, turned it in. Vaughn McCoy made the tackle. West Virginia forced to kick a field goal.
Oh, nice job by the Rutgers secondary. I tell you, the substitutes are doing a good job. You know, early on, Rutgers was getting killed on the option plays and the wide plays because I think they weren't really getting the secondary support that they needed. They've gotten it so far today. 44-yard field goal attempt by Charlie Bauman. He's kicked one from 49 this year. This kick is up, nearly blocked, but it is no good. It is wide to the left, and Rutgers may have gotten a piece of it. Well, that time it looked like Glenn Miller again came streaking across the screen. And if he didn't get a piece, he certainly got in the face of the holder and the kicker, and that momentary distraction may have been enough to cause the ball to sail wide.
Rutgers takes over. This certainly is their best field position. First down and 10 at the 27.
It's interesting, Lou, they're really raging out of the huddle right now, and that's usually a very good sign that a team is ready to play ball.
Jimmy Can wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Ronaldo Turnbull, the weak side linebacker, makes the tackle.
Yeah, Turnbull at 6'5", 234 pounds. As you see Jimmy Can leaving, he's about 198 pounds, so that was a mismatch very much in the favor of the Mountaineers. Hey, what can you do there, Jimmy?
A loss of 3, second down, 13. Ball to 25. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. First quarter. Rutgers 7, West Virginia 7. Erney fakes the handoff. Did give up the middle, actually. Just a short pickup. A little bit of a delayed handoff. Mike Botti carried the football. How many times do you see the ball carrier help up the defensive man? Botti's still with the ball in his hands. He's helping up the defensive guy.
Well, you know, Lou, I never believed that. I was a defensive player, and you see a lot of defensive players pick guys up off the ground. I never believed in that. You know what I used to say to myself? I said, hey, I just did my best to knock you on your duff. I want to see if you can get up. I'm not going to help you up. I just knocked you down there.
Third down and 8. Rutgers looks to go to the air. Erney has protection, throws long. Randy Jackson, the receiver, is nearly intercepted and then nearly caught. Broken up by Willie Edwards and then nearly caught on the ground by Randy Jackson.
Superlative coverage by Willie Edwards. Let's watch it on the replay. Scott Erney looks, throws deep downfield, and this is a well-thrown ball. If the coverage is not perfect, that is a completed pass. You can't play it any better than Willie Edwards did on that last play.
O'Connell to punt. One punt today, 45 yards. That's above his average. He has kicked it as long as 56 this season. And this is another good one. A high arcing kick that will go out of bounds at around the referee going way up now to the 38-yard line. The Rutgers fans don't like the spot, but that's where the Mountaineers will put it in play. Talk about West Virginia. Offensive stats, averaging 291 yards per game, rushing a 5.1 average, and that is ranks them number 5 in the nation in total rushing offense.
They have 495.6 total yards per game, 49 TDs coming in. That's 5.5 TDs per game. Folks, get the calculators out when you see this team play.
Harris to throw, rolls out, has a receiver, but it throws a grounder that bounces at the 48. Intended for the tight end, Keith Wynn, but that one never made it.
It's a good job by George Bankos. The big senior was bearing down on Harris and got right in his face. Even though he didn't touch Harris, he certainly blocked his vision. When you have to throw around a 280-pounder, that can be tough.
Second down and 10. Ball marked at the 38. There you see West Virginia ranking 4th in the nation in scoring offense. They score a mere 42 points per game. Harris on the draw play. This is Anthony Brown, who carries the football, and Tim Lester on the tackle. Kokoskie also in there. They'll pick up a 3rd and 5 coming up for West Virginia.
Pretty good job by Tim Lester of staying at home, Lou, that time, being able to read the draw and throwing back into the play and stopping it for a relatively short gain, setting up a 3rd down situation.
We're under 1 minute remaining here in this first quarter. It's been a good first quarter of football so far.
Rutgers told us they would play well. They have not disappointed so far, Lou.
Harris to throw, has protection, now it breaks down, he throws, nearly intercepted. Doug Kokoskie in an unfamiliar position for him to intercept the football, but again, that play set up by the defensive pressure.
Absolutely, once again, George Bankos putting a rush on, and Tim Lester doing a good job. The pass was intended for Reggie Rembert, but that was good coverage downfield. Now, you've got to remember, Doug Kokoskie is a converted nose tackle playing linebacker. He's 25 yards into the defensive secondary making the play. Rutgers has got to be psyched today, though.
Lance Carrion will punt for West Virginia. It's a line drive kick, and it's taken by the up man, who's Brett Snyder. Penalty markers on the play, and that will wipe out a very good punt return.
I think you're going to get a clip against Elnardo Webster. I don't mean to single him out early, but he got hit with about 6 flags. It's real embarrassing, Lou, when you're out there and you know you've done something wrong, and the referees not only throw the flags, but they throw it at you. Yeah, it is a clip call.
This will back Rutgers up. They would have had pretty good field position. Rutgers has done an excellent job returning both kickoffs and punts in this first quarter.
Well, they've done it all year, particularly Ron Allen, and there's the call. Now you're going to see it.
We have clipping
And hear it.
on the return team. It'll be first down, Rutgers ball.
You know, Lou, you spend all year working out with the weights, trying to get bigger and bigger, and then when the referee hits you with that flag, you try to get smaller and smaller. It's real tough to do.
And the prognosis on Mike Pergolizzi is a knee injury, and he will not return. Hopefully it's not a serious injury, and he will not only return next week, but certainly be ready for next season.
We hope so, and we wish him well. He has performed extremely well in only his sophomore year.
1st and 10, Rutgers at their own 14. 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Erney to throw. Now in trouble, sets up the screen. Botti makes the catch, turns it upfield. Mike Botti has a Rutgers first down.
Great call and a nice block on the outside by number 57, the guard, Nick Erda. Right now, West Virginia has been pressuring Scott Erney and doing it effectively. How do you slow down the defensive pressure? A couple of draw plays here and there, which Rutgers tried unsuccessfully. If that doesn't work, well, how about a screen pass? As long as you get execution on the screen, it can be a very effective play. They got the execution because they got a good block from Nick Erda.
1st and 10, Rutgers. Scarlet Knights at their own 27. Set up in the E formation, if you will. Erney throws over the middle, intercepted. Bo Orlando picks it off for the Mountaineers, and not an advisable pass there by Scott Erney.
Threw right into the coverage. There was nobody open. zone defense. Erney did not read it and threw right into the teeth of the zone. That tooth that time was Bo Orlando, no stranger to picking off passes. Here it is. Watch Scott Erney. Drops back. He looks. He's got plenty of time and throws. Look at the coverage. 1, 2, 3 men. And that's the third interception for Bo Orlando.
Intended for Tyrone McQueen, but really, no way that pass was going to be completed. Out of the I formation, here come the Mountaineers. Anthony Brown rips a great run across the 30 to the 27, and that will end the first quarter. A very entertaining first quarter of football. We've played one at Giant Stadium. Rutgers 7, West Virginia 7.
You'll be thankful for ESPN in November. Every week, see the NFL's best in live Sunday night showdown and a Saturday stampede of the nation's finest college teams. College basketball tips off with 3 preseason tournaments, while championships are at stake in the final auto racing events of the year. Plus great golf at the Nabisco Championship and Isuzu Kapalua International. It's all live in November on ESPN.
Welcome back to Giant Stadium, where upstart Rutgers is tied with West Virginia at 7. As we begin quarter number 2, the Mountaineers ranked number 4 in the nation. And, of course, talking national championship. But first they have to get by this game, and then next week, the Orangemen of Syracuse, who will have a lot to say about whether West Virginia plays for not only a national championship, but wins the Lambert Trophy.
Right, it plays in a major bowl game. You know, I talked to Don Nealon by telephone earlier in the week, and he said, hey, Frank, we've got to play them one at a time. We can't take anybody for granted, not Rutgers, and we're not even thinking about Syracuse yet. We've got to get by this week.
I formation for the Mountaineers. They have a first down and 10 at the 27. Taylor ridden out of bounds by Darren Sellers. Good defensive play. Pick up of perhaps 2. Second down, 8 coming up.
You know, West Virginia's game plan coming into the game was to control the football on the ground. Rutgers has shown some weakness against the rush, so naturally West Virginia, being so strong at it, said, hey, it's a natural. We're going to run the football, not only because it will help us to score, but it will keep Rutgers from getting the football. Right now, Rutgers doing a good job of defending the rush.
First quarter stats, well, total yards, all West Virginia, but the Rutgers people will point scoreboard. 7-7, and that's the important stat.
They've hung tough when they've had to.
Oh, Anthony Brown just crunched at the line of scrimmage. Pat Udovich comes up and makes the tackle, but the important play made by Darren Sellers and also Elnardo Webster, who turned it in.
Yeah, Rutgers right now really getting very, very good run support on the outside. Now watch, there's a little power toss, but watch the support by your corners. There's Webster in there, and here comes Udovich to put the stop on there, but Sellers on the bottom, and number 93 Webster there. There's a guy who's not making a tackle, but yet making the play. This is like a different Rutgers defense.
This is a big play for West Virginia. Third down and 9. Harris has protection, looks, intercept, nearly intercepted by Blanton. Could not keep control of the football.
He was there, hit him in a bad spot, too, right in the hands as we take a look at John Bland. There he is, number 25, slapping his hands together and saying, shucks. That's exactly what he said, too, Lou. But another guy who made a great play on that last play was George Bankos with another good rush.
Bauman in to attempt a 43-yard field goal. He missed from 44. It's a low snap, and the kick is no good. Wide to the left again. He has missed twice from about the same area on the field. And we're still tied at 7.
Right now, West Virginia not able to take advantage of the breaks that they've been given. They had the 2 turnovers, and they've not really been able to do anything with it so far. Give the credit to the Rutgers defense. They are an improved club on defense today.
What's the old adage? You let the underdog, the longer you let the underdog stay in the game, the more of a chance they have of beating you. And certainly, there's a long way to go, but so far West Virginia has let Rutgers remain in the game.
like a fight. When you get a guy on the ropes, you've got to put him away, Lou.
Erney rolls out on first down. Receivers are covered. He looks to take it out and is ridden down. A pickup of 2 or 3. Scott a little bit shaken up, but gets right back up. Ronaldo Turnbull on the tackle, and Turnbull has been an outstanding performer this year.
He's a big play guy for the Mountaineers. Talk about big play guys. How about Scott Erney holding all the career passing marks for Rutgers, and all the individual season marks as well. Quick comment about Ronaldo Turnbull. Hey, how about that speed for an outside linebacker, defensive end at 6'5", 235. The kid's also got 11 sacks on the year. That's a big play defensive man.
Second down 9. Rutgers running out of the I formation from the 26. A big hole up the middle for Jimmy Can, who is crunched at the 34. Theron Ellis up to make the tackle, but a big pickup, and the third down and short yardage coming up for Rutgers, and another Scarlet Knights down on the turf.
You know, it's late in the year, Lou. It starts taking a toll on you. I remember when I was playing, when you start getting up around that 8th, 9th game, you start getting really nicked up.
Rutgers 7, West Virginia 7.
Here it is on the replay. There's Jimmy Can. He's a slashing kind of runner. See, he sees the hole, and he just fires through there. That's good running. I'd like to see them use Jimmy Can a little bit more on similar plays.
And there is a timeout on the field as they take care of the injured player. 13:10 remaining. Rutgers 7, West Virginia 7.
Hey, this is Bob Hope. Cancer is a problem with many parts. To understand and to stop it require expert knowledge from virtually every field in science. The National Foundation of Cancer Research has organized an international network of scientists. It helps them turn their ideas into discoveries and combine those discoveries into a complete picture. Together, they believe they can solve the problem of cancer. To learn more, call 1-800-227-8713.
Life is a series of choices. What you eat, how you look, whether you do drugs or not. You know, cocaine, crack. See, only you can decide, because the only person responsible is you. Now, if you make the right choice, there's nothing you can't accomplish. If you make the wrong choice, all your other decisions are made for you.
While we were away, Scott Erney picked up the first down as he rolled out to the left side and got 3 yards. Rutgers has a first down and 10, and penalty markers all over the place. Scarlet Knights with the ball at their own 40.
Lou, it was a great play by Scott Erney on 3rd and short. He rolled to our side of the field, coming our way, did a nice job of faking that he was going to throw the ball, pulled it down, and turned it upfield for first down yardage. Then Rutgers on 2nd down, on 1st and 10.
Contact foul by the defense.
Then there you heard the call. They forced West Virginia to jump offside, so Rutgers 1st and 5. They got a nice little drive going, and they're approaching midfield.
Rutgers with the ball at the 45. Knights and the Mountaineers tied at 7 with 12 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Erney off tackle to Jimmy Can. He's up to the 48, and Jim Gray, the freshman nose guard, makes the tackle along with Chris Herring. Second down and 1 coming up for the Scarlet Knights.
You know, as mature as Rutgers, West Virginia is on offense, they're pretty young on defense. They have some seniors in there, but they've sprinkled in a couple of underclassmen, so they're pretty well set on defense for the next couple of years.
James Jenkins, the tight end who was shaken up before, has returned to the Rutgers lineup. That obviously is good news for the Scarlet Knights.
And for James Jenkins.
Yeah. Second down 2 at the 47. Receivers split left and right, 1 back behind Erney, and he gives to that back. That's Mike Botti. He has a Rutgers first down across midfield to the 48, and the Knights will move the sticks. Rutgers has not had problems primarily on offense this year. They have moved the football, coming in averaging 357 yards total offense. That is respectable.
It most certainly is respectable, and they have a good offense. They've got a big offensive line as well, and an experienced one. You've got to remember something. Rutgers right now is in a very similar position as to what West Virginia was in last year. We want to make more of that point as time allows, Lou.
First and 10. Off tackle, Botti gets away from the first tackler, Jim Gray, and then coming up to make the hit, Robert Pickett, number 45. Short pickup, second down 9 coming up. We talked about the RU balance, and they really do balance it out on offense. 319 rushes, 1,319 yards, 12 touchdowns. And you see 1,900 yards passing, but again, 10 touchdowns, very balanced.
The way to display will make more of that point as to where Rutgers might be going in future years.
Second down 10. Erney to Botti, straight up the middle, nothing fancy. Pickup of about 3, actually they'll say 4. Jim Gray on the tackle for West Virginia, and a second down and 6, third down and 6 coming up for Rutgers.
Nothing fancy for Rutgers, Lou, just basically straight ahead, fire out type blocking. Again, quickly that point, West Virginia on offense, their offensive line, virtually all fifth-year seniors. Right now, Rutgers has all four-year seniors with virtually all of them back if they want to come back next year for a fifth year.
Third and 6, Erney rolls out, has room, has a receiver. Young makes the catch and has a Rutgers first down across the 35 and out of bounds at the 32.
There's Eric Young. He's Rutgers' big play guy. His 42nd catch on the year, has 2 DDs. He is an excellent athlete and has a real knack for getting open. Let's watch it on the replay. Roll right by Scott Erney. He's looking for his primary target, Eric Young, all the way. Puts it on a frozen rope. Good concentration by Young. First down Rutgers. Nice looking drive here.
First and 10, Scarlet Knights at the 33. On the delay, up the middle, Mike Botti powers across the 30, down to the 28. Chris Herring makes the tackle, but a good pickup of 4, second and 6.
Real good job up front by the Rutgers offensive line. That's Milano, Erda, Erickson, Kutz, and I believe Steve Tardy. Bill Hyros was in for a little while, but I see Tardy is in and Milano is back in. They certainly don't lose anything when they put Bill Hyros, and all those guys are eligible to come back and play again for Rutgers next year.
9 minutes remaining, second quarter, tied at 7. Erney gives wide, Can cuts it up. Jimmy Can with a superb cut and a Rutgers first down.
Jimmy Can is a cut-and-go kind of runner. He doesn't have the super quick feet that, let's say, one of the West Virginia backs might have, a Major Harris or an Anthony Brown, but he makes one quick cut and then he heads upfield. He's a north-south type of runner, and he's going to get yardage for you if you give him a crack.
First and 10 for the Scarlet Knights at the West Virginia 20. Rutgers' furthest penetration. They've used up 5 minutes and 10 seconds, 11 plays on the drive. And now, timeout taken by the referee. Don't know what the problem was. Erney comes up, and out of the I formation, Rutgers will run this play. Erney gives, Can cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Robert Pickett made the penetration and the tackle for the Mountaineers.
Pickett, a very interesting story, a big hitter at only 210 pounds. Watch him introduce himself to Jimmy Can. Baboo! Wow, that really hurts. You know, Pickett has problems with swelling in his forehead, Lou. He's such a hard hitter, and he leads with his head so much that he was bruising it so badly that it actually became so much of a problem that they had to design a special helmet for him. That's putting your helmet on the ball carrier, I'll tell you.
Second down, 10. Erney on the delay. Botti cuts it up to the 18-yard line. Pickup of about 3. Now a big play coming up for Rutgers. Third down and 7.
Well, this is where Rutgers didn't want to be. Third and long situation. Why? Because West Virginia does such a good job of rushing the passer. They put pressure on all year long. As we said, coming into the game, 37 sacks. So we have to look for good pass protection for Scott Erney if Rutgers is to be successful on this third down play.
Rutgers 2 of 4 on third down conversions, but 2 of 2 on this drive. Third and 7. Receiver split out. Incomplete. Erney looking for Eric Young.
Safety blitz that time by Bo Orlando. We told you that they would have to protect Scott Erney if Rutgers had a chance for a completed pass. That time they did not. West Virginia came with the safety blitz, and Bo Orlando was all over Scott Erney.
Carmen Sclafani in, and he will attempt a field goal. It will be a 35-yard attempt, well within Sclafani's range. He has kicked a 51-yarder this year, 13 of 19 on the year, and 5 for 5 from this range. Snap is good, kick is up, kick is good. And Rutgers has taken the lead. 7 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. A break in the action. Rutgers 10, West Virginia 7.
Channel 6, just for you, with the high school game of the week. From the opening kickoff to the final gun, Channel 6 brings you the best in high school football. Tune in for games featuring such local powers as Madison Central, J.P. Stevens, and Somerville as they battle for a playoff position. So for the best in local high school sports, watch the high school game of the week every Saturday at 8 p.m. only on Channel 6, just for you.
ESPN travels the world to bring you the thrills and excitement of World Cup skiing. From the Alps to the Rockies and beyond, World Cup skiing. Skiing like you've never experienced before. The grace, the speed, the danger. Live on the edge of disaster every week with breathtaking excitement you won't want to miss. Your season pass for World Cup skiing is ESPN.
Carmen Sclafani, who just kicked a field goal, will kick off for the Scarlet Knights. It's a line drive kick taken by an up man at the 25 and upended at the 27. Dwight Giles with a kamikaze tackle on Jeff Price, a center who, first of all, couldn't believe he picked up the football. Second of all, couldn't believe that Dwight Giles nailed him and upended him.
There he is, the big center, 6 foot, 257 pounds. You know those offensive linemen are all frustrated running backs until they touch the football. Then they change their minds again.
See if West Virginia's gotten a wake-up call on offense. First and 10. Mountaineers throwing outside to Grantis Bell, who puts on a couple of jitterbug moves and fumbles the football out of bounds, but it is a Mountaineer first down across the 45-yard line. Ivan Mays on the tackle. He's been a pleasant surprise this year for Rutgers. The 5'11" sophomore at a freehold.
A little too much of a cushion. Watch the cushion here when Harris throws the ball. Now look how far Mays is off the receiver. That's too far. Lou, if you can, you want to give them a 2-yard cushion, not a 12-yard cushion.
First and 10, West Virginia at the 43. Up the middle, Andra Johnson across midfield and dragged down at the 48. Mike Bouchard on the tackle, the junior out of Sayreville for Rutgers.
The first we've seen of Andra Johnson, as I'm sure you will review the Rutgers scoring drive there, Lou, then I'll get to Johnson.
Scarlet Knights impressive, 13 plays, 56 yards, 6 minutes, 54 seconds, 35-yard field goal. Sclafani.
Andra Johnson, the backup tailback, 5'9", 200 pounds, 118 rushes for 618 yards and 9 TDs. Not bad out of your backup tailback.
Harris back to throw. Now in trouble. Gets away. Winds up. Fires long. Touchdown! West Virginia. Reggie Rembert. 48 yards. What a bullet by Harris.
You know, I even think the ball might have gotten tipped by Tim Lester. Lester was all over Harris. Watch it there. Now watch Tim Lester come from the right side of the screen. Number 98. Now he gets a hand up right there. But look at that ball is perfectly thrown to the 6'6" Rembert. Reaches all the way up and beats number 2, Glenn Miller. Miller is only 5'9", and that's what made the play.
And the extra point is up and good. West Virginia has taken the lead 14-10. I got to tell you, it really wasn't poor coverage by Miller. He was kind of there.
No, he was there. I mean, you can't expect much more than that out of a defensive back. Lou, you know, nobody's perfect, and these receivers are quick. They know where they're going. You do not, so you've got to make the best of it if you can. If you can keep a 1 or 2 yard cushion, then you put the pressure on the quarterback to get the ball there. Major Harris did the first part of that. He got the ball exactly where it had to be, and that was tall. Why? Because Reggie Rembert is 6'6". Remember, Miller only 5'8". So the height advantage definitely goes to Rembert. What a perfectly executed pass and what a well-thrown ball by Major Harris.
Rembert, his 21st catch of the year, his 7th touchdown.
It averages over 21 yards per reception. He's a big play guy. He's a big receiver physically, and he's also emotionally a big play guy.
And he comes off a huge game last week against the Cincinnati Bearcats. 3 touchdowns against Cincy. So West Virginia has reclaimed the lead, 14-10. Just like that. Well, we mentioned the Mountaineers are a big play team, and certainly Major Harris, he can throw it a long ways. He had a 68-yard touchdown pass earlier this year. That one a mere 48.
He can do it for you.
Bauman to kick off for the Mountaineers. Back deep for Rutgers. Ron Allen. They're going to start calling him Touchdown Ron Allen soon. And Eric Young, who isn't too shabby himself. 2 good kick returners. It will come to Young at the 15, to the 20, up the middle. Eric Young dragged down from behind at the 35, and he was 1 step away from going all the way. Ted Kester makes the tackle.
Rutgers doing a good job on the return teams with a real nice wedge that time. Young did a good job of reading it and making the most out of it.
The West Virginia scoring drive, 3 plays, 72 yards, 48-yard pass, Harris to Rembert. 14-10, West Virginia. 6 minutes remaining.
Excuse me, Lou, I didn't mean to step on you there. I just think we'll see more first down passes out of West Virginia. Why? Because Rutgers has geared its defense to stop the run on first down. Good teams make adjustments. West Virginia is a good team.
Rutgers first down and 10. Good field position at their own 36. Erney with time to throw. Throws over the middle, down the sideline, incomplete. Intended for McQueen. And good coverage by the Mountaineers, Chris Herring and Dave Lockwood.
Yeah, that was real good coverage by number 41, Dave Lockwood, who is now in the ball game. He was all over the receiver. Right now, Erney getting good time to throw the football and having no place to put it because the Rutgers receivers are being well covered.
Seem to sense that Scott's having a little difficulty reading the West Virginia defense, though. He has thrown into coverage several times, and that is uncharacteristic for Scott Erney. Even that last pass, really uncatchable. Mike Botti's got a huge hole. And a Rutgers first down, I believe. It'll be close, but I believe he picked up enough.
West Virginia has gone into the nickel defense, Lou. That may be one of the reasons why Scott Erney is struggling. I looked, I said, wait, I think I see an extra defensive back, and indeed I do. As we take a look at the play there, Mike Botti makes a nice break on the ball before he's driven out of bounds by Preston Waters. But you see Waters in there. You see Waters in there who did not start the game. You also see number 41 in there, Dave Lockwood, who did not start the game.
You also saw a face mask on that replay, which was not called.
West Virginia right now daring Rutgers to run the football.
Mike Botti up the middle. Scott Summits makes the tackle. Summits has good size for a nose guard, 6'3", 278. Pickup of a couple. Second down and 8 coming up for Rutgers at midfield.
Obviously right now, Lou, West Virginia feels that their big people up front can handle the Rutgers people up front. Because, as I said, they've gone into the nickel defense and have stayed in the nickel defense, which I'm sure our viewers at home know that is a pass defense.
Erney keeps it on his hip and has a wide open field. Makes the turn, is hit hard. He's close to first down yardage, Bo Orlando comes up and nails Scott Erney, but Scott bounces right back up.
Yeah, Darrell Whitmore got a piece of Scott Erney that time, too. I tell you, Lou, when you get hit like that, people don't see what's happening underneath you. All your pads are all shifted all over the place. You feel like you got literally undressed. But Scott Erney, a pretty strong-looking kid, and he's pretty resilient. So far this year, he's managed to escape the injury bugaboo. You know, he has never faced West Virginia. In every game that he has been a member of Rutgers against West Virginia, he has been injured.
3rd down, 1. Big play for Rutgers on this drive. 4.5 remaining, second quarter. Mike Botti up the middle. I believe he should have enough for the first down as he surges ahead. And Rutgers will keep possession of the football. 14-10, West Virginia leads in what has been a very well-played first half.
It sure has. It's been very interesting. A lot of strategy, a lot of coaching right now, and a lot of real solid hitting. Mike Botti doing some solid running, too. 12 rushes for 43 tough yards, Lou. I mean, they haven't been easy. It's not like those holes have been gaping. They've been there, but they've been small, and then the backs are doing a good job of breaking tackles for extra yardage.
Erney again keeps it on his hip, looks, and it's incomplete. Intended for Mersola, and some of the Rutgers fans thinking that there was a late hit by Dave Lockwood out of bounds. Nothing called.
No, not a catchable ball that time. I think people are also thinking interference, but remember, if it's not a catchable ball, there is no interference.
Good to see Mersola back in the game. Remember, he was banged around early in the game.
Well, he'll answer the telephone for a couple of hours after the game, I'm sure, when it's actually not ringing, but you learn to play with stuff like that, Lou. Most people tend to shake it off after their careers are over. I don't know if I'm necessarily in that category, but I remember what it feels like anyway.
2nd down 10 at the 42. Trip receiver split out left. Mike Botti up the middle with a good gainer. West Virginia also jumping offside.
Yeah, 93 Dale Jackson, the backup defensive end linebacker, I think took a step across the line and did not get back in time. So that's a free play for Rutgers.
What would you do here? Would you take the play or take the penalty? If you take the play, you'll have a 3rd down and about 1. If you take the penalty, it would be 2nd and 5.
I think right now Rutgers might want to take the extra down. They're moving pretty well. Is a down worth 3 yards? Let's see. It is.
Looks like they're going to take the play. They decline it. And a 3rd down and 1 coming up for Rutgers at the 32-yard line.
Well, they bring in their short yardage people. All the extra tight ends are in. I see Scott Blanche is in there. All their big people are in. James Jenkins is back in. The wide receivers go out. So Rutgers is going to look to try to muscle that ball in for the 1st down yardage.
Rutgers has moved the ball here in the first half. 3rd and 2 is the official count. Dwight Giles in motion. They give it to Botti. He will not get the 1st down. Submarine behind the line of scrimmage by Bo Orlando, who made terrific penetration. This is obviously too far for a field goal. Will Rutgers go?
I think so. Lou, we said in the beginning of the game, Rutgers has nothing to lose. This is their bowl game. They're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Big play in the first half. 4th down 2. Rutgers at the West Virginia 32. And all of the fans from both the Rutgers side and the West Virginia side are on their feet, but they'll be derailed here as Rutgers has called a timeout. 3:05 remaining.
I think we'll see a little rollout action by Scott Erney. That play has been very effective. It'll be a pass-run option, and I do mean that literally. Pass first, run second, depending on what's open. It's been successful for Rutgers in that 1 field goal drive that Rutgers did have for their 3 points in the game on the 3rd and short situation. It's exactly what Scott Erney did. He elected to run with the football and got 1st down yardage. I look for a similar play in a similar situation.
There you see the score. You just saw it. West Virginia 14, Rutgers 10.
It's not a mistake, folks, if you just tuned in.
An excellent ball game so far, and West Virginia coming in, according to some people, 18-point favorites, 20-point favorites. But so far, Rutgers has played them tough. But this is a big play for Rutgers, not only to keep possession of the football, but emotionally. The 1st down here obviously would do wonders for their psyche. is a West Virginia Mountaineer fan.
They brought a large contingent with them, Lou.
And Rutgers comes up to the line of scrimmage, and the crowd will tell you the story. Mike Botti got the first down, but fumbled the football, and West Virginia recovers. Well, didn't expect to see that scenario unfold.
No, I didn't think so. Watch it on the replay. What a nice cut. Good job of blocking. Nice lead block by Jimmy Can. Botti puts his head down, and then the ball is raked free by Theron Ellis. Gets his hand and his helmet right on the football and pops it loose. Big play for West Virginia. Tough break for Rutgers.
First and 10, Mountaineers. Harris to throw. Has plenty of time. Throws over the middle as a receiver. The tight end, Keith Wynn. West Virginia first down across the 40. Stops the clock as they move the chains. 2:48 remaining. Mountaineers lead at 14-10.
Harris 4 for 7, 92 yards on the afternoon. Once again, not awesome statistics, but he makes the big play.
Harris on the delay. Undra Johnson drilled by Udovich, who makes a good tackle. And the senior linebacker pushes the senior running back for a gain of 2 yards. 2:20 remaining, second quarter.
Major Harris presents so many problems for a defense. If you rush him too hard, you know he's going to scramble for big yardage. If you don't rush him enough, he'll sit in the pocket and kill you with a long pass.
Throws the out pattern, and it's incomplete. Could have been intercepted as it went out of the hands of Reggie Rembert and Ivan Mays coming over, but was intent on the ball carrier and not the ball. Stops the clock at 2:05.
I'm sorry, Lou. That will happen from time to time, especially to a young defensive back. He's so concerned about making the play, making the tackle, that sometimes he's not as alert for the football as he should be.
Big play for both Rutgers and West Virginia here. Third down and 8.
Extra wide receivers in for the Mountaineers, Lou.
Harris, throw, he's in trouble. Breaks away. Now he'll run. He'll get a West Virginia first down and steps out of bounds across the 40. Major Harris. Take a good look at him, folks, because you're going to be seeing a lot of him over the next couple of years.
A spectacular player. 90 rushes for 559 yards and 6 TDs on the year. Beautiful rush that time by Carter Giles straight up the middle. Does the sophomore get rattled? I don't think so. Pulls the ball down, gets great yardage. 4 rushes for 61 yards so far. He is so tough.
First and 10, West Virginia at the Rutgers 26. On the reverse, Rembert. He will carry the football. Reggie Rembert down inside the 5. And keep in mind, he scored a touchdown last week on the reverse against Cincinnati.
Superlative out athlete. Got me so excited there, Lou, I slipped up for a second. Reggie Rembert with a beautiful move on the outside. Now watch it. Pretty well disguised by Harris. Now watch him pick up his picket line of blockers. Then he hurdles the tackler right here and tries to leap into the end zone. The only thing he's doing wrong is he's got to tuck that ball away into the opposite arm. If somebody from Rutgers came across the field and put the hit on him, that could have caused the fumble.
Rutgers calls time. 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining in this second quarter, and West Virginia leading 14-10, but the Mountaineers looking for more here.
Well, this is the worst possible scenario for Rutgers. They had a beautiful little drive going. They go for it on 4th down. They go for broke. Mike Botti makes a nice cut, picks up a couple of beautiful blocks, gets the first down, then he gets popped and fumbles the football and turns the ball over to an extremely dangerous offense with time left on the clock. Needless to say, Rutgers didn't need that to happen.
Mountaineers 9-0. Obviously need this game today. And then next week they'll play Syracuse. A lot of talk around that West Virginia may be headed to Tempe. to the Fiesta Bowl to take on Notre Dame. A lot of things have to happen for that game to be the national championship game, but certainly the Mountaineers are in a position to be in that situation.
Well, there's certain things have to go their way. The first thing they have to do is win today. And Don Nehlen let his team know exactly that. He said, Frank, I don't believe in surprising my team. I let them know all the scenarios. He said, first and foremost, we have to take them one at a time.
West Virginia first down goal. Undra Johnson, touchdown, West Virginia.
10th TD on the year. He knows how to find the end zone.
And the Mountaineers have scored quickly. Bauman in to attempt the extra point.
Here it is on the replay. Nice lead block that time by Taylor. He takes out the linebacker. Good job by the offensive line. And then Undra Johnson takes it up and over for 6.
And the kick is up. It's good. West Virginia has increased its lead. The Mountaineers lead 21-10 with 1:30 remaining here in the second quarter. Well, let's talk a little bit of strategy now for Rutgers. They're down 21-10, 1.5 minutes remaining.
Let's watch it from a different angle this time, Lou. Didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to get in the replay. Now, that looked a lot tougher than it was, and I don't mean to take anything away from Undra Johnson, but I want to give credit to the offensive line that time. He really didn't get touched until he actually hit the goal line. When you're starting at the 3, that's good blocking by your offensive line. Lou, sorry, go back to the point, guys.
The point here, what do you do if you're Dick Anderson and Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers? Do you play it close to the vest and go in and regroup? Or do you try to make something happen with 1.5 minutes remaining?
Well, Lou, under other circumstances, I think Rutgers would automatically just play it real safe and just go in and try to regroup. But remember what we said earlier, this is Rutgers' bowl game. They have nothing to lose. They really want to have every opportunity to win this football game. In order to do that, they've got to score some points.
Mountaineers scoring drive, 7 plays, 74 yards. Boy, they did it in a hurry. 1 minute, 29 seconds, and a 3-yard run by Johnson.
It's a great offensive ball club, and so much of the credit really does have to go to Major Harris. You know, when they have as good a team statistics as they do have, it's hard to single out one guy, but he is spectacular.
On the ground, Scott Blanche fumbled. Did he fumble the football? They say he was down. Rutgers, he didn't fumble it, but Rutgers has recovered. Boy, that could have been a total disaster for the Scarlet Knights. West Virginia, the smart thing there, keeping it away from the deep return men of Rutgers. And the Knights will go on offense. First down 10 at their own 40, at their own 39. They wish they were at the 49. 1 minute, 26 seconds remaining.
Lou, player for player, West Virginia has the superior athletes. There's no question about that. Because of that, Rutgers had to play as close to a perfect game as possible. They really haven't so far, and the turnovers have really hurt them. It's turned into 14 points.
On the delay, Mike Botti to the 45, and Dick Anderson doing exactly what Don Nehlen did earlier. Your running back fumbles the football, and they give it right back to him.
You need these kids. You know, it's early in the game, and you can't punish them that way. They don't learn anything from that, Lou. They really don't. You have to say that fumbles are a part of the football game. Let's hope we've learned something by it and do better the next time.
There's a penalty. Also, face mask, 5-yard face mask against West Virginia. I have to confess, I did not see the flag. But the Scarlet Knights pick up an extra 5, and they'll take it. First and 10 at midfield. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining. Erney over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Jenkins, and he was open.
Yeah, Scott didn't get him the football. There's the tight end Jenkins, was open in a little curl pattern over the middle, which with this kind of time left on the clock and the style of defense that West Virginia is playing would be open. Scott Erney just didn't get him the football. Erney having a tough first half once again, 2 for 10.
And Erney seemed to be signaling to the sideline that time. Someone didn't run the right pattern, perhaps, something like that. Botti nailed it midfield. And the Rutgers fans unhappy with that call. As they boo a little bit, but fans tend to do that. 50 seconds remaining.
Especially
Erney,
when their team is losing, though.
Erney throws incomplete, intended for McQueen, and that one not close. Stops the clock, but now it's 4th down and 10.
Oh, got a good shot.
And now Rutgers has to give the football back to West Virginia.
Lou, Scott Erney's tough to figure sometimes. When he's on, he's obviously good. He was heavily recruited by West Virginia and Don Nehlen out of high school. He had those kind of credentials. He's had that kind of a career. But like many quarterbacks, when he's off, he's off.
Matt O'Connell will kick 2 punts this afternoon, 39-yard average. Grantis Bell stands at the 10. High, but a short kick. But it takes a good Rutgers bounce, and that'll pin the Mountaineers deep inside the 5. It still rolls, and it will roll dead at the 3. So West Virginia has the football at the 3-yard line with 35 seconds left. Now, you might say, well, the Mountaineers will probably just run a couple of plays. When you have a quarterback like Major Harris, that's not necessarily so.
Well, excuse me, Lou, I noticed something very interesting that Rutgers just did. Number 95, Conlon, the backup linebacker who's in there today starting, waited as long as possible to down the football. Why, Lou? Because he wants to kill as much time off the clock, to leave West Virginia with virtually no ticks on the clock to go 96 yards, 97 yards. That was a pretty heady play. Some things that a lot of people don't notice all the time. That was a good play by the linebacker.
And Major Harris comes into the West Virginia huddle a little bit late. Some instructions from the Mountaineer coaching staff. Boy, they come up to the line quick. They may have something in mind, but no, Harris just goes on the quarterback sneak. And I don't believe West Virginia will have to snap the ball again, and that should end the first half as the clock winds down. 20 seconds. Well, a very entertaining first half of football. West Virginia leading by 11. Rutgers showed some promise, though, in that first half.
Well, they played well. They got killed by turnovers, and they got killed by Major Harris. Lou, how can you fault the defense? They've played hard. They've hustled. They seem to have Major Harris trapped for a big loss in the backfield, and he turns it into a 30-yard gain or a 25-yard gain. You can't point a finger at anybody except Major Harris and say, that kid can play.
All right, we're at halftime. Your score, West Virginia 21, Rutgers 10. Back with second half action in just a few moments.
Do you think you could hold on to a child in an accident and save him from hitting the windshield? Let's look. A sudden stoppage at 35 miles per hour could propel a child forward with a force of nearly a ton. Holding that child back would be like trying to hold back a bullet as it's fired from a gun. To protect your child, use a car seat designed for young children. This message is from the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Keep the dream alive. Don't give up the fight. We will get there someday, you and I. If we only keep the dream alive.
Watch the USA Network's second annual Juvenile Diabetes Foundation's Thanks for Giving special Sunday, November 27th.
Ice on Ice, a magnificent collection of coolly elegant diamond jewelry that will fire your imagination. The Ice on Ice collection is now available at Walter Bauman Jewelers at those beautiful low Bauman prices. You can buy with confidence at Walter Bauman Jewelers, where quality and value have been a family tradition since 1868. Walter Bauman Jewelers is located in West Orange, Parsippany, East Brunswick, Union, Short Hills, Edison, and North Plainfield.
Welcome back to Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of East Rutherford, New Jersey. Home of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers for 3 games this year. And right now they trail the visiting West Virginia Mountaineers by the score of 21-10. Lou Brogno joined by Frank Labono on our Metro College football presentation this weekend. And Rutgers playing a pretty credible first half, Frank, but down by 11 points. West Virginia had the better part of it in total offense, but the big story there, 3 Rutgers turnovers, something the Scarlet Knights could not afford.
Right, 2 of those turnovers led to 14 West Virginia points. Some other statistics you didn't see there. Major Harris, 154 yards of total offense. Scott Erney, only 2 for 11 with 2 interceptions.
Doug Giesler kicking off for Rutgers. Jamie Lamont takes the football for West Virginia across the 25 to the 28. And Joe Altamari on the tackle for the Scarlet Knights. West Virginia goes on offense first to begin quarter number 3. And the Mountaineers lead at 21-10. Up front, the same offensive line, a good one, a senior line. Koken, Stroyer, Kovac, Phillips, and Smiter. Keith Wynn, the tight end. Calvin Phillips starts at split end. Reggie Rembert is the flanker. Taylor and Brown starting behind the incredible quarterback, sophomore Major Harris. Anthony Brown has a big hole. He's across the 40 to the 45. Vaughn McCoy and Glenn Miller combining on the tackle. Rutgers defensively with Lester, Tompkins, Giles, and Bankos up front. Conlon, Udovich, and Kokoskie the backers. And in the defensive secondary, Sellers, McCoy, Miller, and Mays.
Anthony Brown, 16 rushes, 76 yards on the afternoon. He's looking solid.
Harris almost fell down after he took the snap. Now winds up, has a receiver, but down immediately is Calvin Phillips. The split end came in with 21 receptions on the year, 554 yards. There's Dick Anderson, no doubt yelling to his defense, come on guys, let's stiffen up.
Oh, when he yells, they listen to. He's a big guy. Stand next to Dick Anderson, folks. You don't remember, he used to play tight end for the Nittany Lions. He's about 6'4", about 220 pounds. He's a big guy.
Second down, 7. Delayed handoff. Brown, he's nailed behind the line of scrimmage, and you might have caught the football up. No indication, though. Rutgers says we have the ball. George Bankos made the hit, and Mike Conlon gets up with the football, but they say that the runner was down. There's a West Virginia player down. That is the big offensive guard, Bob Kovac, and that would be a big loss for West Virginia. 6'2", 270-pound senior.
His backup, Dale Wolfley, that should be a name familiar to pro football fans. He's got 2 brothers in the National Football League. His one brother plays for the Phoenix Cardinals, and they play the New York Giants tomorrow. His other brother for the Pittsburgh Steelers. How'd you like to be in a family like that? How'd you like to feed that family? They're all offensive linemen, too, Lou.
There's Major Harris, number 9, sophomore quarterback. Had a 48-yard touchdown pass in the first half. Playing this game with a slight hip pointer, but not showing any effects of that.
I hate to see him totally healthy, Lou.
So would Rutgers.
You know, an interesting play on that one play when he was fading back to pass, this last play, and somebody stepped on his foot. You know, it sounds like making a big deal out of nothing, but you'd be surprised how something like that could throw a kid with lesser ability really off. Harris didn't think anything of it. He just picked himself up, basically, got back in the pocket, and then completed the pass. I tell you, that's something that's not as easily done as you think it might be.
And again, the player down on the field for West Virginia.
I think that might have been Koken instead of Kovac. I'm not sure, because I see Jeff Price, the backup center, was going into the ball game along with Major Harris. So it might
You're right,
be.
Frank. It is Koken, the center. Kevin Koken is 6'2", 263-pound senior, number 57. So a good call.
I know I see that K off that big back. There's Scott Erney. Scott's not had a good first half. You know how quickly I can totally change direction when we're talking about the offensive line for West Virginia 1 minute and then go right over to Rutgers. But there is Scott Erney. Has not had a good first half. He's got to rally in the second half if Rutgers has any hope of a comeback.
Now, you take a look at Kevin Koken coming off, and never a good sign when it's the knee, but that's a knee that already has a knee brace on it. So that's An even worse sign, I would say.
Well, a lot of these guys wear the knee braces, though, as a precautionary measure. It's not always that they have a definite injury. Sometimes that's to help prevent an injury. And you see more and more linemen wearing the knee braces, even if they don't have a bum knee.
3rd down, 8. Major Harris rolling out. Right side, rifles it, has a receiver. Calvin Phillips makes the catch inside the 30 and steps out at the Rutgers 27.
Calvin Phillips is a big play guy also. He averages 26.4 yards per catch. Now you know why he had such a tremendous cushion. Now here's Harris again. Really gets only token pressure. Good job up front. Now look at the cushion that Calvin Phillips has. The closest guy for Rutgers is number 41. That's Ivan Mays, and he's 10 yards away from the play.
Ball marked at the 28. Anthony Brown picks up a yard or two. Nailed at the 25. Actually a pickup of 2. Pat Udovich on the tackle. And a 2nd down and 8 coming up for the West Virginia Mountaineers. If you noticed going back 2 plays ago when Major Harris threw that football, a very interesting delivery. Not like some quarterbacks who just flick it with the wrist. Harris actually winds up and he takes the ball all the way from behind his head and fires the football. 2nd down 8. Out of the eye, Craig Taylor, kind of a mix-up there, and the Mountaineers really looked out of sync. Chuck Paw made the tackle. But that play was doomed from the word go.
Yeah, the timing was a little bit off that time, and things just weren't meshing for the Mountaineers, and Chuck Paw took full advantage of that and clobbered Taylor from behind. Chuck Paw's a big guy, 6'2", 260-pound senior, kind of size you want on your defensive line.
Another 3rd down play for West Virginia. 3rd down 7 at the 24. Fake the handoff. Harris delivers over the middle. Incomplete. And a great hit by Darren Sellers. And on the coverage also was Ivan Mays. That was in Rembert's hands, but he took a shot. It was knocked away.
Good job by the defensive backs for Rutgers. Here it is on the replay. Now look at the fierce rush. Here comes Conlon on the blitz, but Harris stands in there and hits. That ball is there, but not for a great diving play by Mays, and then a good pop by Sellis. That's another touchdown for West Virginia. Good job in the Rutgers secondary.
40-yard attempt by Bauman. Kick is up. It is no good. Wide to the right. He has missed 3 field goals this afternoon. Been a tough day for that young man.
It's not windy. It's not real cold. It's not rainy. I tell you, I can't explain it.
So Rutgers has some light. They trail 21-10. The Scarlet Knights will take over at their own 24-yard line, their first possession of the 2nd half.
That was an important defensive series for Rutgers. Now this is a very important offensive series for the Scarlet Knights.
Split backs behind Scott Erney. Fakes the hand off the body. Takes off right side. Has a receiver, but not held on to. Intended for Brett Mersola. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Can't blame Scott Erney for that one. We said he did not have a good first half. Comes out throwing in the second. Put the ball out there for Brett Mersola. Should have been caught. Mersola couldn't make the play, though.
Rutgers up front here. Erickson, Erda, Kutz, Milano, and Tardy. Jenkins starts at tight end. Eric Young and Mersola, the receivers, Can and Botti behind Scott Erney. Bill Hyros in there for Bill Milano. Erney fakes the handoff again, rolls out. This time comes back to Can, gets away from a tackler, takes it upfield, and Can has a Rutgers first down across the 35 to the 37.
Oh, good job that time on the outside by John Kutz. Got a nice block, and then a good shake and bake move by Jimmy Can on the defensive back, Willie Edwards, for about 4 or 5 extra yards. Now let's watch it. Just a little slip screen. Now watch number 66. You didn't see him. He got just enough of a push there. Then Can makes a nice move in the secondary to pick up an extra 3 yards, which got him the first down. There he is, number 32 out of West Nyack, New York, Jimmy Can.
And Can shaking up a little bit as he comes out. Erney rolls right. Throws incomplete. Intended for McQueen, who was mugged on the sideline by Mays. Flag goes down, and they'll call interference against West Virginia.
I don't know that time, Lou. I thought the timing was pretty good by Alvoid Mays. We may be able to take a look at it on the replay, but it looks like, to me, from this distance, but we were all the way across the field, that he got there just about the same time that the ball did.
And they do move the chains. First down for Rutgers as they move the ball up to the RU 47.
4 penalties, West Virginia, 31 yards. Let's take a look on it, on the replay here. Erney looking all the way for his receiver. Now watch Alvoid Mays, number 3, come from the bottom of your screen. He's there early. Good call, Mr. Official. I stand corrected. He was there a split second too early. Good call.
First and 10, Rutgers at the 47.
Those zebras, Lou. Tough to argue with those guys.
Eric Young in motion. Give the Botti, who looks to get outside, but he will not. Terrific defensive play, Bo Orlando, who tackles Botti for a 1-yard loss.
You know, I was looking at the West Virginia roster earlier in the week, and I said, gee, they're so big in the defensive line, but their secondary is rather small. I said, hey, their strong safety, only 173 pounds, but watch the way this kid hits. Takes on the 208-pound fullback and takes him down for a loss. That's excellent strong safety play by the 173-pound Bo Orlando. Big hitter for a little guy.
Second and 11. Erney rolls out right again. Has protection, has a receiver wide open. Jenkins, the tight end, makes the catch inside the 30.
Randy Jackson did a nice job of clearing the zone out, and then Jenkins curled in underneath, found the hole, or the seam as we call it, in the zone, and Scott Erney made a beautiful throw to Jenkins for a big first down. Rutgers got a little bit of a drive going here. Watch this beautifully thrown ball. Nice tight spiral. Puts it right in the breadbasket for Jenkins. Can't miss this one.
Jenkins is down, shaken up just a bit. Ball marked inside the 30. Rutgers on a drive here with 10:47 remaining in the third quarter. West Virginia leading 21-10. Here's a look at Kevin Koken on the sideline. The West Virginia center doubtful that he'll return today.
He's being iced down pretty heavily. That's usually a sign that the player will not return. What they're trying to do there is prevent or reduce any swelling that may have occurred so far. That's very important when treating an injury.
Scott Blanche has come in at tight end for Rutgers. Erney, the Botti, fumbles, picks it up, and gets positive yardage. Almost another near disaster for Rutgers. But Botti practicing his basketball skills there as he dribbled it off the artificial turf.
A little early right now for that, though, Lou. That time, a real good job by number 95, Pat Martlett, the backup defensive tackle who's in there. He's 6'5", 251. Mike Botti.
Smiling a little
Yeah,
bit.
I was just going to say, Mike Botti's smiling because sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. That time, Mike Botti was more lucky than good, and he'll take it.
Second down, 7. Ball at the West Virginia 26. Erney, again, good protection. Botti makes the catch, but he's brought down immediately at the 23-yard line. Bo Orlando again on the tackle. A good pickup, but Rutgers faced with a 3rd down and 3.
Oh, pretty good protection that time afforded Scott Erney by the Rutgers offensive line. But once again, an excellent hit by Bo Orlando. Now watch the protection on the replay. Pretty good job. Nice little pocket for Erney. He can step and throw, but watch Bo Orlando here. When he hits you, you stay hit. That's a good job by the strong safety. The strong safety should be the best tackler, best open field tackler anyway on the field, and Bo Orlando does not disappoint.
Big play for Rutgers. 3rd down, 3. Erney in trouble. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Young was open, but good pressure by Lonnie Brockman, number 97, a 6'4" junior defensive end.
Let's watch it on the lower part of your screen. Somebody gets a big hand up there. No, that's not 97. That's number 87. That's Ronaldo Turnbull. He's an inch taller at 6'5". Just got way up there and swatted the ball away.
And he used all of his 6'5" frame there to make the play. All right, Sclafani in to attempt a field goal. It will be a 40-yarder. Kicked one earlier. Kick is up. It's a line drive shot. It's going to be good. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
Hey, that's all that counts, Lou. Didn't make it by much, but he got it there.
And Sclafani pointing towards the West Virginia defense. There's a timeout on the field. 9 minutes and 3 seconds remaining, third quarter. West Virginia 21, Rutgers 13.
Channel 6, just for you, with the final score. There's more to sports than just the major leagues, and New Jersey teams offer lots of excitement. Get the insights into the sports and the people who play them on The Final Score. Why just read about local sports when you can experience it on The Final Score, your central New Jersey source for sports. Every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., only on Channel 6, just for you.
ESPN opens the door on a college basketball season slam-jammed with color and excitement. Friday, November 18th, the ball gets rolling with a sparkling triple-header from the Big Apple NIT. Then Saturday, November 19th, the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic pits Duke against Kentucky. The color and excitement of live college basketball and ESPN. The right combination.
As we return, the Mountaineers returning the kickoff. A lot of returns in that sentence. West Virginia will have the football across the 30-yard line. West Virginia 21, Rutgers 13. Ball marked at the 31. And I'm not sure what that is.
I was going to say, that's definitely not a Mountaineer. It's possibly a Mountaineer fan, but that's the Mountaineer's the guy running around with a torn-up jacket. What do they call that, fringed? Looks like something I used to wear in 1968, actually.
It's a little bit like Davy Crockett.
Well, that's a Mountaineer.
Major Harris is a Mountaineer, too, and he's got a big gainer across the 45. Shaken up a little bit, but does get up. Ivan Mays makes the tackle.
Nice open field tackle by Mays. Excuse me, Lou, but boy, is he something special. He left Conlon in the dust. Conlon had a real nice angle on him, and Harris just outran it.
Is just so dangerous. Can explode on any play. Rutgers, meanwhile, still very much in this football game with 8 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We've got to keep playing good defense. Anthony Brown hit at the line of scrimmage and then breaks away. Pat Udovich makes the tackle, and he's made many this year, as he's the leading tackler for the Scarlet Knights coming in.
And one of the all-time leaders in tackles for Rutgers. Anthony Brown, they call him AB. I wonder why.
Anthony Brown.
5'10", 211. I'll tell you that some of these backs, they're, at 5'10", 210 pounds, look like a refrigerator with a head. A little tough to tackle.
West Virginia has two tailbacks who carry the football evenly. Here's Brown, who surges ahead for close to first down yardage across the 45. Udovich again on the tackle, but getting back to the point, Anthony Brown and Undra Johnson both carry the football about the same amount. The Rutgers scoring drive. 7 plays, 53 yards, 3 minutes, 7 seconds, 40-yard field goal, Sclafani. And that's all well and good. You want to take any type of points you can get, but pretty soon, Rutgers is going to have to start scoring touchdowns and not field goals as they trail by 8. Harris to Brown. And right now, West Virginia really has that ground game cranked up.
Nothing fancy that time, just a crack for AB. Anthony Brown, watch it, nice lead, blocked by his fullback. Reads the block extremely well, makes one cut, then zips up the field. He's got 103 yards on the afternoon, his 4th 100-plus yard game this year. Anthony Brown, an outstanding tailback. They can do it all, these Mountaineers.
1st and 10, West Virginia at the Rutgers 27. And the give up the middle, Craig Taylor, the fullback. picks up a couple, across the 25, more than a couple as he picks up 4. Second down, 6 coming up. Carter Giles makes the tackle, and the clock continues to wind down here in the third quarter. 6 minutes, 45 seconds.
Here's the Mountaineer.
There he is.
The guy with the torn-up jacket.
Good to see him again. Let's keep that musket away from us. That's it. Major Harris in trouble. Looks over the middle. Keith Wynn makes the catch. And how in the world did Harris get that ball off? First down, West Virginia.
He had George Bankos and Chuck Paw right in his face. Bankos goes 280. Paw goes 260. Now watch the poise of the sophomore quarterback. He rolls. Look at Chuck Paw is right here. Stops dead in his tracks and still puts it on a frozen rope, and then a nice catch by Keith Wynn. That's why they're 9-0. Harris 7 for 12, 129 yards on the afternoon.
First and 10, Mountaineers. And some movement in the West Virginia offensive line. And that will back West Virginia up. Not many penalties by the Mountaineers today. They came in with 73 on the year. And they'll be looking at a first down and 15 from the 19-yard line.
Don Nealon told me an interesting story about Major Harris. One of the reporters asked him, you know, how he got to be such a leader, and he's such a young guy, considering it's such a veteran offense. How does he accomplish that? I'll tell you how after this play.
Major Harris looking to throw. End zone. Incomplete. Had a receiver a little bit too far for Calvin Phillips. And there was pretty good coverage by Rutgers as well.
It was good coverage, but again, a beautifully thrown ball. He put that ball where the only one who could catch it would be Calvin Phillips, the split end. Either Phillips was going to get it or no one was. Watch him stand in the pocket. Good protection. Look at him wind into that throw and put it right there. And that's almost a 6. Quickly, that story by Nealon. He says, how does this guy lead? He said, well, one play, it was a broken play, scrambled for about 30 yards in the backfield, then threw a 60-yard touchdown pass. And they gave all his credit to his offensive linemen. They love him.
Second and 15. Harris looks to run. Gets away. He's at the 20. Angles to the 15. Still on his feet and brought down at the 14-yard line.
I'm laughing up here. If I was a secondary man, I tell you, Lou, I wouldn't be laughing having to face this kid. He is excitement personified. That was as good a 2-yard run as you're going to see. Watch this. He breaks a tackle there. Another move there. Watch another move right here. Okay, then he can't make this. There you go, Glenn Miller. He just couldn't make it past Glenn Miller. Otherwise, unbelievable. And he still almost kept his feet.
West Virginia has called timeout. Mountaineers called for time. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here. West Virginia leading 21-13. The Mountaineers have been deep in Rutgers territory on many occasions today. However, they have come up empty on several occasions, mainly because Charlie Bauman, their fine field goal kicker, has not been able to get the ball through the upright. Mounties have scored 49 touchdowns this year. You talk about the big play. 927 yards. The point we're trying to make there is that on those touchdowns, 18.9 yards per touchdown. That means that they score touchdowns on big plays.
Well, they have the athletes that can accomplish such a feat. They've got guys like Calvin Phillips, Reggie Rembert, Anthony Brown, Craig Taylor, Under Johnson, and of course the incomparable Major Harris. They've got big play guys.
Third down and 11. Ball at the 15. Harris looks to keep it. He's got a wide open field. Runs towards the corner. Has a first down, and he's inside the 1.
He just blew Van McCoy away. Just absolutely blew him away. Ran the option, the reverse pivot option to the short side of the field. Van McCoy. Now watch number 12 on the inside. See him in your screen. Watch this. He's got him. He's got him. Wait a minute. I don't have him. That is superlative quickness. He just blew right by Vaughn McCoy. That is talent, folks. 8 rushes for 96 yards. Major Harris, a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate in only his sophomore year.
Mountaineers, first and goal at the 1. Craig Taylor still has it. Touchdown. touchdown. Great second effort by the Mountaineer fullback.
Let's watch it on the replay. Gets his bell rung. That's Udovich. Nails him, but can't wrap him up. Great presence of mind and athletic ability to get back on his feet and then rip through the tackle of Darren Sellers. That is a superb effort by the senior fullback, Craig Taylor.
Bauman kicks the extra point. West Virginia leads 28-13. 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. Well, Rutgers down by a good 15 points now, and still a lot of time. But what do you do now if you're Rutgers?
Well, Rutgers most certainly cannot push the panic button, Lou. They still got to do some things that they have done effectively so far in the ball game. Scott Erney has looked pretty good when he's rolled out. They've mixed in a couple of runs and stuff here and there. I think you might see them try to slow down the pass rush of West Virginia because they'll be coming, knowing that Rutgers has to throw the football. Maybe with some screens and some draws, which have been effective plays for Rutgers. They certainly can't lose their heads and try to get it all back in 1 or 2 shots. There's plenty of time left.
Rutgers coming in at 4 up, 5 down. West Virginia 9-0, ranked number 4 in the nation. Mountaineers have 1 game left after this one. As you see the West Virginia scoring drive, 10 plays, 69 yards, a 1-yard run by Taylor. But the big plays, of course, Major Harris.
Well, he's got
in the drive.
225 yards of total offense alone today. Lou, that is something very special. And again, statistics are only one part of the battle. You have to remember that he's putting so much pressure on the defense that they have to concentrate so much on stopping him sometimes that it opens things up for some of the other players.
Bauman will kick off, and Jimmy Cann and Ron Allen, who has already scored a touchdown on a kickoff return this afternoon, they stand deep for Rutgers at the 5-yard line. Fumbled by the Scarlet Knights, still loose, but Rutgers does recover at the 22.
Poor communication that time between number 89, Damian McGuire, a backup tight end, and Jimmy Cann, the running back. They didn't talk to each other. Jimmy, as a matter of fact, looked like he even pushed McGuire in the back to try to get to the football. They got to communicate down there. It's just like a baseball play. It's just like a pop-up. Watch it on the replay. See, Jimmy Cann is all over him right there. They've got to talk to one another.
Rutgers with the football at the 22. 1st and 10 for the Scarlet Knights. Receivers, 3 receivers split out left side. Here's Erney rolling out left side. Looks, has a receiver. Mersola cannot hold on. Right there, a little bit of lack of concentration by Brett Mersola. Had it, didn't look it in.
Well, remember, early on, Mersola took a good shot in the back of the head. Since then, he's had trouble concentrating on catching the football. Lou, as a defensive back, that's why they coach you to pound on these receivers. It's not that they want you to be a nasty SOB. They do want you to be that, but because it becomes effective for you late in the game. From hitting these guys so hard, so long, sooner or later they're looking all over the place instead of where they should be looking, and that's looking the football into their arms and body. 2nd down, 10 at the 23. Jimmy Cann hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Chris Parker on the tackle. Skip Fuller also on the tackle. Fuller, 6'1" junior. There's a look at Skip. Makes one big play, and then he's out of the ball game. Skip out of Somerville, New Jersey. Thought you knew that name, didn't you, Lou? I saw you look around, you looked for the roster and said, bet you that's a Jersey kid. 3rd down, 7 at the 25. Rutgers looking to keep possession. Erney to throw. In trouble, and it's nearly, yes, it is intercepted. Theron Ellis picks it off for West Virginia, and a poorly thrown ball by Scott Erney. Just no zip on it at all. Scott just
lofted it up for grabs.
That was a pressure interception. He felt the pressure of Ronaldo Turnbull. Watch him out of the right side of your screen, number 87. Bill Hyros is trying to block him. Now, he does not touch Scott Erney, but he's in his face, and he causes Erney to throw the ball before he was really ready to throw it and force the interception.
West Virginia, first down, 10 at the Rutgers 31. Craig Taylor still on his feet down to the 25, and a face mask penalty also will be tacked on against Rutgers, and things now going sour for the Scarlet Knights. Tim Lester, Glenn Miller combining on the tackle.
I think Lester got him by the mask, though, Lou, that time.
Well,
Rutgers got to be very tired on defense, Lou, very tired at
Rutgers
this point.
has hung in very well, but the Knights committing just too many turnovers, and we mentioned in the pregame something they could not afford to do, and the scoreboard tells that story. West Virginia up 28-13, and now Rutgers in danger of giving up more points. And those turnovers will just kill you every time. Major Harris brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Carter Giles. A very good play defensively.
Oh, nice job by the nose guard there that time. Carter Giles, a 6'1", 260-pound senior. Let's watch him. Watch him shoot the gap here. Keep his feet, move down the line, and then get a nice piece of the tackle there along with Mike Conlon. That's a good defensive job by two big Rutgers players.
Second down, 12. Harris to throw. Sellers coming on a blitz. Gets him.
Corner blitz by Darren Sellis. Lou, you could see it from up here. There was blood in his eye. He knew he had a free shot at Major Harris. And when you spend half the day chasing that kid all over the lot, when you get an opportunity to lay one on him, you're not going to miss it. Watch it out of the bottom of your screen from left to right. Darren Sellis, here he comes, here he comes. All of a sudden, at this point, he's about real excited that he's going to get in on this sack, and he takes Major Harris to the ground.
A great play by Harris just to hold on to the ball, really. Plenty of time this time. Throws over the middle and nearly intercepted. Ivan Mays on the defensive coverage along with Vaughn McCoy, intended for Calvin Phillips.
Well, that was a good job by the safety that time. Vaughn McCoy to cut across as your free safety should. He's playing center field back there. When he sees the open man and the ball is released, bang, he should go right for the football. That's what McCoy did that time. Pretty good job by Mays on the outside, and McCoy coming from the inside to bat the ball away.
West Virginia will punt on fourth down. Carrion, one punt today for 38 yards. He'll try to pin Rutgers back deep. A line drive kick, and a very effective kick. Was it touched by a Rutgers player? No, it went into the end zone.
Great play by Darren Sellers. Great play. That ball was about to be down by the linebacker Ellis, and Darren Sellers blasted him out of the way so he couldn't down the ball, which allowed it to go into the end zone. That is a real heads-up play by the cornerback, Darren Sellers, playing on the special teams.
So Rutgers, no damage done on the last turnover. They take the football at the 20-yard line. 1 minute, 48 seconds remaining here in the third. West Virginia 28 and Rutgers 13.
West Virginia had gone into the nickel defense about midway through the second period. They're back to their normal defense now.
Erney to throw. In trouble and sacked at the 10-yard line. Coming in to make the play, Jim Gray, the nose guard, and also Chris Parker, defensive tackle.
Lou, it's so tough when the defense knows you have to pass the ball. It's tough if you're on offense. Now watch the protection break down. Gray comes right up the middle. Scott Erney tries to look downfield, but he really doesn't have any time. The big guy in there, number 94, Chris Parker, 6'5", 280. Last year, he was their contained tackle. This year, they use him as a pass rusher. He's not disappointed.
Second down, 19. for Rutgers. At the 11, hand off to Botti, looks to get outside. He does turn the corner, but he's flung down by Robert Pickett. A good defensive play.
Well, Pickett at about 210 pounds, Lou, is an extremely mobile linebacker. He moves really well. Now watching on the replay, here's the ground level. Botti makes a pretty nice job here, plants and then goes and tries to outrun the linebacker to the corner, but Pickett is just too quick and gets a good piece of Mike Botti and flings him to the ground.
30 seconds in, counting down here in the third quarter. This will be probably the last play of the stanza. Twin receivers split out, right side. Erney to throw. Now in trouble. Dumps it off Botti. Really crunched at the 12-yard line. Orlando made the tackle and really hit Mike Botti, who is down. Nope, now he's back up. That's a good sign. And the West Virginia fans give the defense a hand, and that will end the third quarter. We have played 3 quarters of football here at Giant Stadium. The score, West Virginia 28, Rutgers 13. And back in a moment.
You'll be thankful for ESPN in November. Every week, see the NFL's best in live Sunday night showdown and a Saturday stampede of the nation's finest college teams. College basketball tips off with 3 preseason tournaments, while championships are at stake in the final auto racing events of the year. Plus great golf at the Nabisco Championship and Isuzu Kapalua International. It's all live in November on ESPN.
Fourth quarter, just about ready to get underway as Rutgers trailing West Virginia by 15 will have to punt out of their own end zone. Matt O'Connell into kick for the Knights, and the Mountaineers figure to get tremendous field position. Grantis Bell stands at the 50-yard line. (28-13) West Virginia. Mountaineers going for the block, and Bell calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 43.
Good field position for the Mountaineers. Whenever you have good field position, Lou, it sets up just a lot more in terms of opportunity, things that you can do offensively, because you're not in real danger of losing field position. If you don't make the first down because you're trying a trick play or something, you can still kick the ball away and have your defense play tough with the opponent pinned with their backs against the wall.
First and 10, West Virginia at the Rutgers 43. I formation for the Mountaineers. Major Harris keeps it himself and in trouble. Can he get away? No. Finally taken down by George Bankos, and Mike Conlon thought for a fleeting moment that Harris was going to get out of that, which really would have been magnificent indeed.
Well, Conlon had the beat on him, and he forced him to cut back, but when he did, big George Bankos was there to clean him up. I think that's the key to stopping the option, Lou.
To have a Rutgers player down on the field. Also shaken up is number 98, Timmy Lester, who will come off the field. He looks to be okay, and the player down on the turf a little bit more serious. Third quarter's statistics.
I'm sorry, Lou, go for it, babe.
Well, West Virginia, the total yards, 373. Problem is that Rutgers is well below their average, and the turnovers have really hurt the Scarlet Knights. 4 turnovers against West Virginia's 1. Time of possession, pretty much even. And I think that Dick Anderson has to be pleased with that statistic. But again, the turnovers have hurt.
No question about it. And the lack of passing production by Scott Erney has also hurt. You know, I don't mean to put extra pressure on the kid, but he has been the key to their offense to this point in the season. When he does not perform well, Rutgers offensively does not usually perform well.
Harris on the delay to Brown, who jitterbugs around. Spins across the 35 down to the 32. Chuck Paw finally makes the tackle. But that's close to a West Virginia first down.
That's quick feet. That's what'll do it for you, Lou. Watch it on the replay here. Watch Brown. Just a real quick little delay draw. Dances in there, then makes a great cut, moves his feet, keeps his feet churning. There's Paw, gets him by the jersey, and finally pulls him down. But the key to the success of that run was the fact that Brown kept his feet moving at all times.
Again, Brown down to the 20-yard line. Actually, it was Craig Taylor, the fullback, who carried the football. Taylor, the fullback. And now West Virginia, that big offensive line, they're just wearing down the Rutgers defensive front.
You said that exactly right, Lou. You know, a big offensive ball club may not show success early on, but it tends to be a cumulative type thing, so that by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, these big guys have been beating on your head all afternoon. You start getting a little dizzy.
Brown upended at the 20 and rolls ahead to the 18. Pickup of 2. Chuck Paw again on the tackle. Second down, 8 coming up for the Mountaineers.
Paw has come in for Steve Tompkins and done a real good job, the senior. I think they put him in. He's kind of a bulky guy at 6'2", 260. I think they needed that on the defensive line.
13 and a half remaining. Fourth quarter. Craig Taylor. Touchdown, West Virginia.
Little misdirection, Lou. Took a jab step in one direction, then came back hard in the opposite direction. He got the Rutgers linebackers leaning, and then cut against the grain and went virtually untouched to the end zone. See the little jab step? He started to his right, moved his quick feet, went back to the left, and just powered his way into the end zone. Taylor, 12 rushes for 62 yards to the TD on the afternoon.
Bauman in to kick the extra point. Kick is up. It's good. Minutes and 9 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter. West Virginia 35, Rutgers 13.
Are you knocking yourself out looking for advertising that works? You've tried almost everything, right? Newspapers, radio, even direct mail, and you're still not getting results, right? Well, cable advertising is the answer. Cable reaches the market and customers your business needs. The channel selection offers you, the advertiser, the media variety to achieve those elusive results. Call TKR Advertising today at 356-1220. We've got the solution.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Los Angeles Raiders and San Diego Chargers go head-to-head. Marcus Allen spearheads the Raiders' double-barreled silver and black attack. The Chargers brace themselves for the collision with their AFC West division rivals. The Los Angeles Raiders and San Diego Chargers battle head-to-head on NFL Sunday Night Football at 8 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Back at Giant Stadium, where the Mountaineers of West Virginia are on their way to their 10th win of the season. That's a significant victory total for them, because that would match their best record ever, compiled back in 1922. They were 10-0-1. I wonder if there's any fans here who remember that season back in 22.
I don't know. It's a good question, Lou. Let me ask a few. Wait a minute. I'll stick my head out of the booth and yell down.
Vince Hall takes the kickoff at the 15. He's to the 20. Breaks away. Still on his feet. A good run by Hall to get what he did. Across the 30 to the 32. And Rutgers comes out on offense. E.J. Wheeler makes the tackle. West Virginia scoring drive. 5 plays, 43 yards. Didn't take long, did it? 19-yard run by Taylor. 35-13, West Virginia. Not sure what the situation is here. They may kick again. Seemed to be a penalty against the Mountaineers. And West Virginia was offside, so they'll force West Virginia to kick again.
They want to try to get Rutgers, that is, wants to try to get the ball in Ron Allen's hands, because you know he can move it.
Backup quarterback Greg Jones on the sideline for the Mountaineers, and we may see him, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore. And Don Nealon may try to get some of his younger players in.
Jones is going a lot this year.
When you're going for the national championship, Frank, and your club is leading 35-13 in the fourth quarter, I don't think you might take any chances with your first string in there.
Well, there's no question about that. And one of the reporters earlier in the week asked Nealon if he was running up the score on some of these opponents because of so many of the huge totals. He said, hey, I've been pulling my guys in some instances midway through the third quarter. What do you want me to do? Tell them to lay down and not play football? I've got good backups, too. What can I say? We just play football. We do the best job that we can with the personnel that we have in there. He just happens to have great personnel.
Bauman kicks off again. Ron Allen at the 15, to the 20, 25. This time he's spun down at the 35 and rather rudely by E.J. Wheeler.
Yeah, he said, hey, I made it the first time, I can do it again. No penalty flag is going to stop me. He's from Morgantown, a hometown kid.
Mark the ball at the 36-yard line. Rutgers sends in their second-team quarterback, Tom Tarver, 6'1" sophomore out of Jackson.
He has not thrown a pass so far this year, Lou. When I was looking over the statistics, I thought that was very interesting. Scott Erney had thrown every pass for Rutgers so far this year.
And a chance for the youngster to play. And he's back to throw. Looking and sacked. Well, Mountaineers say, welcome, Tom Tarver, to the game.
Not a very auspicious beginning for the young sophomores. Jim Gray, who's played a great game for a freshman at nose guard. He's been in on 2 or 3 sacks. That's unofficially. There he is, number 98. And he's hurried the passer on numerous other occasions. You normally don't get that kind of a rush out of your nose tackle. Their job is usually to plug the middle and stop the run. He's done a great job at rushing the passer.
Tarver gives the Botti penalty markers on the play. Botti just creamed at the line of scrimmage. Jim Gray makes the tackle. And Pat Martlet, 6'5" senior, backup defensive tackle. Illegal procedure against the Scarlet Knights, and it probably will be declined by the Mountaineers, which will bring up a third down and 15, which is something you don't like to see a young quarterback, a situation you don't like to see a young quarterback in.
Well, this is a character building situation for all of the Rutgers players, particularly the young ones. Here, Lou, is when you establish what kind of an attitude you want out of your players. Obviously, Rutgers is going to go down to another defeat, which seals their fate on a losing season, which has got to hurt, but that doesn't mean you can quit. There's still just under 12 minutes left to play in the game. There's a lot of work to be done, and you've got to start doing it right now.
3rd and 12. Tarver rolls out. In trouble. He'll be brought down. Ronaldo Turnbull makes the tackle. And there's a look at a fine athlete, and I think the quarterback is going to be a very good player. You saw Dick Anderson give him a little pat there. I think Tarver's going to be a very good player for Rutgers, has terrific athletic ability, great potential, but they are a sign, Frank, of an inexperienced quarterback who has never thrown a pass and just didn't pull the trigger that time.
That's right. He should have thrown the ball away rather than take the sack. When you're rolling like that, it's just as easy, Lou, to throw it up into the 4th row as it is to take the sack. That's what he should have done. He will learn to do that with experience.
Matt O'Connell in to kick it away. High booming punt. A great punt by O'Connell. Grantis Bell at the 20. And he goes down at the 22, and a clipping call against West Virginia.
An obvious one. When I see them and call them out immediately, an obvious clipping call.
The clock is stopped with 10:54 remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Clint Person had a real nice beat on Grant Bell, and all of a sudden he was flying across the plastic turf here because he got hammered from behind by one of the West Virginia players that did not get his number, but it was against number 29.
Craig Taylor on the sidelines. Senior fullback for West Virginia. Taylor, outstanding player. And Craig out of Linden, New Jersey, so a local youngster playing for the Mountaineers.
Watch the clip. Watch the left side of your screen. Watch 29 all of a sudden come flying across right there. Number 23 did the clipping for West Virginia. Let's see who that masked man is. Let me get my roster out here.
Well, I'll tell you, got a long discussion, too.
Oh, pretty obvious to me. Darren Fulton hammered the Rutgers player from behind. In my book, that's clipping.
There's also another penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage.
Could be offsetting penalties. That's what the delay is. They're going to have to kick it again, I believe.
And Rutgers, I believe, will kick again. No, it's a first down for Rutgers. Let's see what this penalty's all about.
That was declined. The clipping was declined, but there was another penalty,
which gave West Virginia, gave Rutgers an automatic first down. It was 3rd and 13. It had to be a major, I would say, defensive holding. Had to be defensive holding before the punt, or a personal foul of some kind.
I didn't see the official indication, but it had to be something of that nature.
Mike Botti carries the football across midfield to the 49. Pat Martlett on the tackle for the Mountaineers. Second down and 7 for Rutgers. Tarver rolls out left and in and out of the hands of Eric Young. That's a pass that should have been caught.
I tell you, it's a shame because Tarver really paid the price again. Excuse me. Ronaldo Turnbull was all over Tarver like a cheap suit once again. And you don't mind taking it, Lou, as long as you complete the pass. But if you're going to take that kind of punishment, well, you want to get something for your effort.
A cheap suit?
I made that up last night. That's all I have.
3rd down, 7 at the 49. Tarver. Oh, boy, is he in trouble. Dragged down from behind. Chris Herring makes the tackle.
They blitzed the young kid. Mo Orlando was in there again on the safety blitz. Tarver showed you his athletic ability and managed to elude that tackle, but then Chris Herring was all over him like, I won't say, I used it anyway.
Timeout taken? Looks to be an injury timeout. No? Or is it a Rutgers timeout? Rutgers calls timeout. Stops the clock with 9 minutes, 48 seconds. I mean, do you even bother to punt here if you're Rutgers? I say you got to go, obviously. 4th down is 10. Doesn't really matter at this point. West Virginia 35, Rutgers 13. Doesn't matter whether or not the Knights give the ball back to West Virginia in midfield or not at this point.
It depends a lot on how you get defeated. The score is, at this particular moment, irrelevant. You've got a lot of young players in there for Rutgers. As I said, you've got to start establishing the kind of attitude that you want for future years. They're playing a nationally ranked ball club who is just physically superior right now. But there's a mental approach to the game that goes beyond the And that you can always work on, Lou, always, and it's never too early to start. Remember, we said it earlier, Rutgers is in a very similar situation that West Virginia was in last year, and look how West Virginia turned the game around.
Yeah, come on, James.
You see the Scarlet Knights gathered around Dick Anderson. They will punt. Matt O'Connell into kick. They'll set up quickly. No, it's a fake. A berserk play. I'm not even going to try. You are the color analyst. You describe that.
Oh, don't put me on the spot like that, Lou. I don't think anybody knew what was going on, except for the officials. They threw a penalty flag. It's going to be illegal procedure, I think, against Rutgers. Too many men on the field against West Virginia. It was a disaster. It even faked out our cameraman and director.
It is a legal procedure, obviously, against Rutgers. Too many men on the field against West Virginia. It's fourth down all over again. I don't know if we'll get a replay of that, but
I don't think I want one, Lou.
A nutty play. Matt O'Connell and the punt.
I think it's a good move to punt here, Lou, because if you give West Virginia another opportunity to score easily, as we said, it doesn't ultimately matter what the final score is, but remember the attitude. You don't want these kids embarrassed, certainly in front of their home crowd. You can help it anyway.
Well, the Mountaineers don't think that Rutgers is going to punt, as they are up close. No deep men for the Mountaineers.
I still think they'll kick it, though.
And indeed, O'Connell does. Bounces at the 20, at the 15, and touched by a Rutgers player at the 17. So all of that, the Mountaineers have the football at the 17-yard line. 9 minutes, 33 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. West Virginia next week takes on Syracuse in what will be the game for the Lambert Trophy. Syracuse has defeated Boston College today, and the Orange Men and Mountaineers will play in Morgantown for Eastern Supremacy next week.
Last year, one of the best games of the season was West Virginia at Syracuse when Don McPherson and the Orangemen pulled out a last-second victory over these Mountaineers. This time, the Orangemen have to travel to Morgantown, where West Virginia is exceptionally tough.
Bouchard on the tackle, and we'll have to get our roster out because you're going to see a lot of different players now for both Rutgers and West Virginia. Second down and 8 for the Mountaineers. Nine minutes remaining. Rutgers, we'll talk about their opponent next week in just a moment. Greg Jones is the quarterback for West Virginia. Gives up the middle, spinning for some yards. Is Rico Tyler. Rico Tyler in the game now, number 29. Junior running back out of Pittsburgh.
Just give us a few moments, folks. It takes a little while to get organized with these wholesale changes. We've got the rosters handy. We're ready to rock and roll again, Lou. Let's go for it, big guy.
3rd and 4 for the Mountaineers at the 24. Greg Jones to throw. Has protection. Now he fires incomplete, and the West Virginia fans thought it was a late hit on Vaughn McCoy against Jamie Lamont. No flag.
Good play, Lou.
Virginia will punt.
Good play, well-timed hit by Vaughn McCoy. He timed it perfectly. It was close, but that's the way you want it to be, to make sure that you're arriving at the same time the ball is arriving. That was a good job by McCoy.
And the Mountaineers will punt. Carry on. From the 10. Lets it go. Hit a West Virginia player at midfield.
The officials have the mark.
Rutgers will get the ball there at midfield.
It hit number 99, Basil Proctor, reserve linebacker, and the shoulder pads as it was running down to cover.
Ball marked at the West Virginia 48. Rutgers 1st and 10. 8 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Tom Tarver brings Rutgers up. Young man getting some experience against the 4th-ranked Mountaineers. Has protection, has a receiver. Randy Jackson inside the 10.
A beautifully thrown football by Tarver, 43 yards to Randy Jackson. Boy, watch it out right here. He rolls to his right and then throws back to his left. That's very, very difficult to do. And he put it on a frozen rope. See how the defense had rotated towards the side that Tarver was rolling to? Then to throw back, you'll usually find a receiver open because of the natural rotation of the defense. The difficulty there, Lou, is to get the ball back across the field. You have to have a strong arm to do that.
Ball marked at the 4. 1st and goal, Rutgers at the 4-yard line. Tarver fakes, and he is struck down behind the line of scrimmage. Marlett and Bo Orlando on the tackle. A penalty marker on the play.
Got him by the mask, Lou.
Yes, this will be a face mask against West Virginia.
Big break for Rutgers. Big break for Rutgers. Watch it on the replay. Now watch Martland makes a great play, but look at, he's all over that mask. He tried to let it go, but it was too late to do it.
And they'll move it half the distance. Ball will be marked at the 2-yard line.
Boy, if you're Pat Martland, you got to be a little ticked off because he just made a great defensive play. And they don't do it intentionally, but they're just grabbing for anything, those big guys. And what happens, a natural reflex reaction for a running back is to duck. And when you duck, sometimes you duck right into those big guys' hands, and they grab for anything they can get. And in many, many instances, it's the face mask.
1st and goal from the 2. And Tarver calls timeout. 7 minutes, 37 seconds remaining. And Rutgers looking to get some points here in the 4th quarter. West Virginia 35, Rutgers 13. Rutgers takes on Colgate next week. The Red Raiders, a Division I AA team. And I might add this year, this particular season, not a good Division I AA team.
Well, they've traditionally given Rutgers a hard time. They've always played Rutgers well, so don't worry too much about the fact that they play in a different league. Oh, that wasn't us. Well, that was us, folks. That last little thing wasn't necessarily us. That was a neat move.
Rutgers, again, as you mentioned, has had some tussles with Colgate. This year, though, the Red Raiders down for whatever reason, and Rutgers will be a solid favorite at Rutgers Stadium.
You know, I was here in 1976 when Rutgers completed its undefeated season, and Colgate gave Rutgers all it could handle. And if it wasn't for a couple of breaks in that game, that might have ended Rutgers' undefeated season.
Vince Hall, man in motion. Mike Botti trying to step into the end zone and does. Touchdown, Rutgers. And Botti is down in the end zone, but appears to be all right.
Good shot on the hip, but a superb individual effort by Mike Botti. Sometimes, Lou, you just won't be denied. That's character. His team is down big. Now watch as he takes the handoff. Pretty good blocking up front. Now watch him take the shot right on the hip, right there. Ouch, that hurts. But spins and takes the pain and gets into the end zone. That's a great run for Mike Botti, who's had a great season.
There he is, Mike Botti. Very important part of this Rutgers team this year.
I believe he has a year of eligibility left also.
Correct.
So if he chooses to return, he can be back and play for Rutgers next year and do it all over again.
Mike had a big game this year against Penn State. One of the primary reasons the Scarlet Knights won the game. Rutgers will go for 2. Tom Tarver looking to throw. Now in trouble. He'll run it. And he will not make it as he's driven back at the 1-yard line. Skip Fuller makes the tackle. 7 minutes, 33 seconds remaining, and West Virginia leads 35-19. Well, the score is, if you're a Rutgers fan, you're obviously never pleased by anything less than victory. But if you have to look at a positive situation, it is a respectable score against the number 4 team in the nation.
Well, I thought defensively, Rutgers certainly had its moments. I think the turnovers really killed Rutgers, and the big play. They did a pretty good job of defending West Virginia on the overall. They got killed by turnovers, and once again, they got killed by big plays. But that's what West Virginia's really all about, Lou. You've got to stop the big plays, and you've got to keep from having turnovers. If you can do that, you got a chance against West Virginia. You got a chance against anybody. But if you don't, you're not going to get very far.
Now, you would think that Rutgers would go for the onside kick here. And I think that West Virginia feels the same way, as most of the players that are in for the Mountaineers are backs and receivers.
You know, it's the same thing for Rutgers. You got to realize that they may throw in an occasional linebacker just sometimes to put a pop on somebody to try to cause a fumble, but yet all the rest are backs and receivers.
Doug Giesler will do the kicking. And it is an onside kick. And it's fielded and knocked out of bounds, I believe. It will be West Virginia's ball.
Hey, Rutgers had a chance. That was a well-executed onside kick. They just couldn't come up with the football.
3 plays, 48 yards, 38 seconds, 2-yard run by Botti. The run failed, and it was a big pass from Tarver to Jackson, the big play in the drive.
No, and Tarver really looked good in completing that pass to Jackson. Mike Botti on the afternoon, 22 rushes, 78 yards, and the touchdown. That's a good afternoon against a real tough defensive ball club.
Greg Jones brings the Mountaineers up. They have a first down and 10 at the Rutgers 47. Give up the middle and a couple of yards across the 45 to the 43. Clock winding down, 7 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, fourth quarter.
See, Eugene Napoleon is in the ball game. He's an exciting back, about 178 pounds, and he can really fly.
And he has the football now, and they'll run out of bounds. Glenn Miller chases him out, along with Mike Bouchard.
Well, he outran the angle of Rich Humphreys, but he showed you his excellent speed, just couldn't turn the corner.
George Bankos down.
George has got those unstable knees. It seems like at least once a ball game he's down there. That's Reggie Rembert with some ice on his shoulder.
Not a good sign if you're a West Virginia fan. You certainly need him in the quest for the national championship.
No doubt about it. Boy, I tell you, if you can get a 6'6" receiver who can run and a guy who can get him the football like Major Harris, boy, that is real nice to have. No, Eugene Napoleon out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Quite a few Jersey kids on this West Virginia roster.
Bankos seems to be okay, and they'll escort him off the field. George Bankos.
Has a history of knee trouble, Lou, and it does. He plays with pain, and it does trouble him from time to time. And as we said, in the Rutgers games that we've done, in virtually every game he's gone down at least for a little while because of those sore knees.
And West Virginia calls timeout. Greg Jones didn't like what he saw. And the young quarterback calls timeout. 6 minutes and 54 seconds remaining. You know, we talked about Rutgers having a lot of players who are eligible to be fifth-year seniors next year. And on offense, Frank, that's certainly the case. They will lose Eric Young. They will lose Brett Mersola. And Steve Tardy, the big tackle. But you do have Milano coming back if they desire.
Right.
Erda.
Right.
Erickson. Jenkins. Actually, Tardy, I mentioned he was leaving. He's coming back. Kutz they'll be missing. Erney's coming back. Can's coming back. Botti's coming back. You've got some players who have played underneath. Blanche, who could return. McQueen. Jackson. Snyder. So they have
Jenkins.
Henderson. They have players coming back on offense.
They have a good nucleus. They certainly do. Defensively, I think they need a little help, but I also think they've got some good young players that will contribute for them next year.
Jones overthrowing his intended receiver, and that was Calvin Phillips. And Calvin would have needed a step ladder to catch that one.
You need Reggie in there for that one. And even then, he might need a short step ladder.
In fact, I don't know if a step ladder would have been appropriate. More like a hook and ladder fire truck to get up to that one.
A bucket truck.
Way over his head. All right, carry-on's in to kick the ball away. Snyder and McCoy are deep for Rutgers. It's an end-over-end kick, bouncing away from Snyder and out of bounds. Rutgers gets the football at the 10-yard line. Well, a very enjoyable season for us on our Metro College football package. We've had some very good games. This one was a good game for 3/4 of football.
Very competitive, Lou. Real competitive.
Certainly Air Force Army was a very fine game last week. Rutgers Temple was an excellent game, even though it didn't turn out well for Rutgers fans. It was an exciting game. Rutgers Army.
Well, that was the big upset there for Army, and that made it exciting. They really outplayed Rutgers here in the Meadowlands.
Giles to Snyder on the reverse. Needs a block. Really didn't get one as he's out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Brett Snyder playing for the Scarlet Knights. 5'8" junior out of Bayville, New Jersey.
You see that block by Tarver on the corner there when you said he needs a block, and I said he's not going to get one because look who's out here trying to block for him. Watch number 13 leading this play. There's a good crackback block. There he is. Get him, Tom. You got a piece of him.
Tarver made an effort.
We'll take that from your quarterback, Lou. Hey, he's a good athlete. Why not?
Of course, Theron Ellis, number 66, who we tried to block, just swatted Tarver away. Yates makes the catch. Spinning, Andre Yates close to the first down. He's at the 25. He'll be about a yard shy. A 3rd down and 1 coming up for Rutgers.
Let's watch it on the replay here. There's Tom Tarver. He turns, looks, throws. He's got a good, strong arm. Yates does what he has to do, which is catch the ball first, then spin upfield and try to make yardage. You know, people always say, well, why do quarterbacks get hurt? I mean, when they throw a block, other guys do it and don't. Do you ever see the protection a quarterback wears sometimes? Those shoulder pads and stuff do not compare with what a running back is wearing.
3rd down and 1. Mountaineers pick up the football, but they say that it is Rutgers' ball.
Still don't know if he got the first down, though, Lou, anyway.
Don't believe the Scarlet Knights picked up the first down. They'll measure, but the mark appears short. Nope, it's a Rutgers first down.
Lou, I would have figured this late in the season you would have had your marks down by now. I don't know.
Gotta love these West Virginia fans. Are they thinking national championship or what? They're winning 35-19 in the 4th quarter. They're booing because Rutgers gets a first down.
They didn't like the spot. Hey, they love their football in West Virginia. Make no doubt about it. If you read their press guide, Lou, you'll realize how important this Mountaineer football program is to the entire state. They really get behind their college football team.
1st and 10 at the 25. Tarver throws, nearly intercepted by Theron Ellis. He's all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah, for a big guy, he certainly is. That was an ill-conceived play that time by Tom Tarver. That's a rookie mistake. He threw it right into the teeth of the coverage, and that man, Theron Ellis. Here it is on the replay. Now watch. He looks at the one receiver all the way, scrambles a little bit, and then tries to force it in there. No, Tom, you don't want to be doing that. 3 white shirts right there and only 1 red. That's a mismatch.
2nd and 10. Tarver to McQueen. Dives ahead. to the 32. They'll be short of first down yardage, and a third down coming up, 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, but a good job by Tom Tarver that time. Safety blitz was on again. Bo Orlando was right in his face. Tarver hung in there and got the ball out to the receiver. He shows signs of being something real special.
Should be noted that West Virginia did go to the second-string offense, but many of the first-string defensive players are still in there for the Mountaineers.
That's a good point, Lou.
3rd and 2. Tarver lets it go, incomplete. Intended, I guess, for Snyder, although Tyrone McQueen was running the deep route on that side of the field.
Well, what they're trying to do in a situation like that is clear the zone out. McQueen takes the cornerback deep with him, and they try to slip a receiver in underneath. That time, Tarver got caught in between. It looked like he was a little indecisive in whether he wanted to throw the long man or the short man, so it went nowhere.
4th down. 4th and 2. And with 4:34 remaining in the game, obviously Rutgers will go for it. Tarver to throw. He's in trouble. He's down. Chris Parker puts Tom Tarver down.
Here comes Chris Parker, number 94. He beats the block of number 60 for Rutgers. That's the backup, Alan Mitchell, the offensive tackle, a young guy. Just beat him with a strong inside move, and he was all over Tarver before he knew what hit him.
West Virginia may score again. 1st down and 10 at the Rutgers 25. 4.5 remaining. Jones gives to Napoleon, and he's crunched down at the 32. And Rutgers has kept their first-string defense in now, or at least brought them back in for this series. They certainly don't want West Virginia in the end zone again.
Absolutely, no question about it. This is pride time. That's what you're playing for. Obviously, Rutgers is going to be on the short end of this score, but there are many other considerations beyond the final score. It's mental preparation you're starting to establish not only for next week, but for next year. The type of strong mental attitude that you need to build a winner.
2nd and 8. Napoleon turns the corner. Penalty marker on the play. That may be a clip against West Virginia. Not many comical moments in this game, but one of them has just occurred. You saw number 29 for West Virginia, Rico Tyler, and he was the culprit on the play, but he was pointing at the Rutgers player as the referee turned around, saying, no, it was him who helped. Clearly, Tyler was holding on the play.
You're the culprit. I thought Keith Wynn might have got a piece of somebody over there, too.
Yeah, he looked like he had the clip.
Because Tim Lester was complaining about something also.
Take your pick. It was either a clip or a hold. At any rate, 2nd down and 15 coming up for West Virginia.
You know, it's interesting. West Virginia has been penalized 8 times for 56 yards. Rutgers only twice for 15 yards. That's very unusual that the team with that many penalties and that much lost yardage is way up in the score.
Knocked away. Bouchard knocked it away from the tight end, the West Virginia tight end, and that's Adrian Moss.
Yeah. Big guy in there, 6'5", 250 backup tight end. And Bouchard at 237 pounds, no lightweight by any means. Watch this now. Here's Jones, fires the ball in there, and the ball is there, but watch Bouchard get there at just about the same time and pummel him to the ground. Good job by the linebacker. Interesting, West Virginia, though, still throwing the football. With their outstanding ground game, I thought they might have stuck to the ground, excuse me, a little bit more here in the 4th period.
And they do go to the ground here. Tyler across the 30 to the 27-yard line. 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Tyler shaken up a little bit. West Virginia will have a 4th down and 12. Well, this 4th quarter certainly not going to make any points on the excitement meter.
I'm sorry, Lou, I dozed for a second there. No, it's a situation where
typical, really, that where West Virginia has just taken a commanding lead.
That's it.
Greg Jones in trouble, still gets it away, and then throws it way out of bounds. Intended for Grantis Bell. Good coverage by Rutgers. And the Knights will get the football back with 3:03 remaining.
Jones looked pretty good that time. He was hanging in there against a strong rush. Just kind of shrugged off the Rutgers player and still got the ball downfield. I tell you, this is a deep, talented ball club, this West Virginia Mountaineering team. Wholesale substitutions on defense for West Virginia now.
Tarver.
Knee was
made
down.
the catch, but his knee was down. His knee was down at the 23-yard line.
Lou, sometimes when it goes bad for you, it stinks. And right now, Rutgers is just struggling. That time they tried to set up a screen pass. They had blockers out there. Yates made the catch, but his knee, unfortunately, was on the ground.
Clearly, as you see on the replay. 2.5 remaining in the game. Mountaineers are going to be 10-0. Rutgers is going to drop to 4-6, and yes, that has sealed a losing season for the Scarlet Knights. And it seems hard to believe, really, when you think back. Blanche makes the catch across the 30, and a good effort by Scott as he's up to the 35. But getting back to my point, when you think back at the early part of the season, when Rutgers beat Michigan State, beat Penn State, and then we're 4-2 at one point, it seems hard to believe that this team could have a losing season.
Well, we talked about it, Lou, and I think it's a point well made that if Rutgers would have won 2 out of the 3 games that they really felt they could win, it may have been a different season for Rutgers, not only from the standpoint of having 2 more wins, but having momentum to carry them to beat some of the other tougher teams as well, like Pittsburgh, like West Virginia.
Yeah, you know, if you sit and you analyze the season, and certainly it's easy to do in hindsight, but sure, when you analyze it, certainly Rutgers was expected to be an underdog to West Virginia when the season started. Probably Pitt, of course. Those are 2 losses probably that Rutgers would have had, and you would have figured 4 losses probably. Syracuse being another, maybe only 3 losses, because really Rutgers was favored to beat Vanderbilt.
That's right.
Was favored to beat Army. As Tarver looks long, Snyder makes the catch at the 25. Nicely thrown ball.
Beautifully thrown ball. As Snyder didn't have to reach and stretch for the reception, he was gone. It was a little flood pattern. McQueen ran the straight fly pattern. Watch it here. Now watch Snyder on the post, and the ball is right there, beautifully thrown for 33 yards. Snyder had to give it his all to get to the ball. If he could have kept his feet, he was gone.
And the Mountaineers go offside unless they call it against Rutgers. To get back to my point, Rutgers favored against Vanderbilt, favored against Army, favored against Temple,
and lost them all.
If Rutgers had won those 3 games, certainly they'd be sitting with 7 victories at this point, looking for an 8th win next week against Colgate and maybe a bowl bid.
That's right.
1st and 15. The Knights looking to get another touchdown here with 1 minute and 2 remaining. Tarver to throw. He's hit immediately, hits McQueen, who makes the catch and is brought down.
Face mask going to be tacked on to that also. Rutgers in good position to throw in another respectability score here, make it just a little bit tighter. Watch it on the replay. Tarver hanging in there and then gets hammered. Now watch McQueen with a nice move here. Uses his quickness, and then there's the face mask penalty against Darrell Whitmore, the freshman. Half the distance to the goal line. Rutgers will have 1st and goal just inside the 3-yard line of West Virginia.
And you mentioned playing for pride, and certainly this 4th quarter has to be a confidence builder for the younger players on the Rutgers offense. Because remember, they're playing against many of the 1st-string defensive players for West Virginia. 40 seconds remaining in the game. Tarver has a receiver. Hall. He's brought down. No, touchdown, Rutgers.
He just broke the plane, Lou. Nice looking play and a good job by Tarver to get the ball to Vince Hall. And then Hall did a nice job of not being denied. As the smoke clears. I like that, Lou.
And obviously, Rutgers will go for 2.
He just did break the plane. He paid the price for it, but he got the reward. 6 points for Rutgers.
Should be mentioned that there's only 35 seconds remaining, but if Rutgers gets this 2-point conversion,
they're within 7,
and then kicks an onside kick.
Hey, why not, Lou?
Tarver looking, Young cannot make the catch, but a penalty marker in the end zone. That'll be interference, I believe, against West Virginia.
Yeah, Alvoid Mays, I think, had a hold on Tyrone McQueen in the back end of the end zone, in the back side of the end zone. Yeah, it's going to be a holding. I saw Alvoid Mays, number 3, had a hold of Tyrone McQueen, who is not the primary receiver. I don't know if we'll get it on the replay. We may. And if we do, look in the corner of the end zone, and you'll see number 3 in white paired up with number 5 in red.
And that will move the ball half the distance.
Nope, won't get a chance to see it, but that's what it was, Lou. I promise.
There you see the ball at the 1.5-yard line. Tarver looking, has his man. Oh, Brett Snyder unable to make the catch. Thought he had caught it. Well, that is it. That'll just about seal it for West Virginia.
Here it is on the replay. He puts it right there to Snyder. It's right in his hands, and he just can't hang on. He wasn't even hit. Should have made the catch.
35 seconds remaining. The key stats in the game. Turnovers, Rutgers with 4, West Virginia 1. We talked about that. Very critical. For West Virginia, Anthony Brown with 116 yards rushing. A tough day for Scott Erney, only 6 of 19. Botti, 22 carries, 78 yards, a productive day for him. Major Harris, 7 of 14, 129 yards. Rushing, he had 10 carries for 94 yards, accounted for 223 total offensive yards for the Mountaineers.
Hey, that's literally a standard day for Major Harris. That's just about on his average.
Rutgers losing this game. Syracuse over Boston College today, 45-20. Again, that sets up the Syracuse-West Virginia encounter next week for the Lambert Trophy. Tough loss for Army today. Fumbled by West Virginia and out of bounds, so it'll be the Mountaineers' ball at the 36. Vanderbilt just nips the Cadets 19-17.
I had a feeling that would be a good ball game. Vanderbilt has a pretty excellent quarterback of their own, right, Lou?
Yes, they do. Eric Jones, who just about single-handedly defeated Rutgers earlier this season, 31-30.
He's an excellent quarterback. He's very similar to Major Harris. I don't think he's quite as strong physically, but he is an excellent runner and a very, very good passer, and he does a lot of things real well.
West Virginia will just fall on the football, and the clock will wind. 33 seconds and winding down. Well, Frank, very quickly, I want to just say it's been a pleasure working with you this season, and Rutgers calls the timeout, foils me as we were about to wrap it up.
Well, let me just say that I've enjoyed working with you, Lou, and our entire crew. Our director, Doug Kokoskie, has done a great job all year long. Our whole technical support staff, and of course, all the schools that we've dealt with. Rutgers and their personnel, Army and their personnel, as well as the visiting teams who came into the metropolitan area to make our season so successful. And of course, all the people who watched. Hey, you know, we wouldn't want to do it for nobody, and there are people out there who do enjoy it, and we're glad to be able to provide these games for them.
Clock stopped with 24 seconds remaining.
Major Harris got his Christmas cap on. It's getting near that time of the year.
Jones falls down. 16 seconds. Doubtful that Rutgers would stop the clock again. 10 seconds. Dick Anderson is coming across to shake hands with Don Nealon, the West Virginia coach. And the final score is West Virginia 35, Rutgers 25. And the Mountaineers are 10-0. Rutgers drops to 4-6, and we have to get out of here quick because of time constraints. But again, Frank, we're working with you. Look forward to it again.
Lou, it was indeed my pleasure, and once again, thanks to all parties involved.
All right, that'll do it. I want to thank you at home for joining us for our Metro College football package this year. Once again, your final score from Giant Stadium, West Virginia 35, Rutgers 25 for Frank LeBono and the rest of the TKR Cable Sports crew. I'm Lou Brogno. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care, everyone.